Good evening, family. Good evening, family. Thank you all for tuning in. As you've seen on the flyer, we got some interesting topics this evening. We have an esteemed guest also in studio with us. I'm going to do our introductions in just a moment. But as I just like to always give a disclaimer, we got what we're going to talk about. We're going to start there. Now, if we end up there by the time this goes off, I don't know. Because lately, that's just ain't how we've been doing it. But hey, it's been working. So I just like to tell folks, if y'all hear us get loud or whatever, we just all passionate. All love. Because when we get out of here, we all hug and dap up like it ain't nothing. And then we all go our various separate ways, like it ain't nothing. And that's how it should be. We should be able to talk, disagree to agree, agree to disagree, and all that fun stuff. So I just want everybody to know that no fists be flying, none of that stuff. We don't, we don't do none of that. We just be saying our stuff inside of here.
Yeah. You said what?
So just wanted to get out of the way so folks know. So this
Bad
evening I have I have with us I'm so excited to have her here with me this evening. I've been listening to this woman for the last 3 years incessantly. She's my ride into work. She's my ride in dropping my son off in the morning. You can catch her at WNOV 106.5 FM and for your AM station is 860. But she is Michelle Bryant.
What's happening, family? It's a privilege and an honor to be here. I am excited. You're doing good work already.
Hey, we trying.
Then there's other folks.
Yeah.
This cat here.
I'm the stepchild.
Like we were,
you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, the food stepchild.
And like I was telling him earlier, people be calling me, "Hey, you gonna have dude on?" And I said that's bad when they say dude, and I know exactly who you're talking about. Ain't no more Stacy. Ain't no more him.
Hey.
So
people love entertainment.
Yes, definitely love
educational entertainment.
Educational
entertainment.
I don't know about that. But
No, it is though.
Educational
Think about it though, because every bad thing or every wrong thing he says, inconsistent thing he says, we're able to correct him.
They say every correct me. Fact check. That's all I say.
Live fact check.
We love
I like you a fact check.
We love fact check.
You know what I'm saying? Fact check.
Try to, man.
Anybody that know me know I love the data.
Right. We try to help people out, man. We try to help people get people out of their situations.
I don't know what you do. I don't know what kind of help you doing, but okay.
They stuck. They been stuck for decades.
You leading in the water and pushing them in. That's what you doing.
Some gonna drown. I ain't gonna lie. Some just ain't gonna get it. They gonna drown. But we try.
He helped pushing the paddle down.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what? You're not good. Nope. That's not gonna happen. Nope.
We got this cat.
Yeah.
So y'all already know who Travis is, right?
Yeah.
He's our so-called black conservative. Which I
He
told him
said
last week you is not no conservative.
Conservative.
Okay, that's the manner you want.
I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative.
Right.
That's the hood way, man. That's the hood. Come on, you know how we get everybody.
No.
Conservative.
I think people from the hood would be a little offended if you say they can't pronounce the word conservative.
Conservative.
Thank you.
I'm trying to bring something new to the game.
You and Rick Ross.
Conservative.
I've never heard anybody else do
I'm trying to bring something new to the game.
I
gotta put some hood to it.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
It's not part of no hood box that I've heard of.
We make up stuff.
No.
Come on, man. Everybody get a nickname. It's how you know somebody that you don't know. You give them a nickname.
We got Travis here, the so-called conservative. What's the name? What's the name? What you call it?
I said conservative.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? But
I
conservative.
got my brother from another mother here, Stacy Spider. Me and him, as you know, went to school together, graduated. Madison class of 04, baby.
Let's go.
This brother is so smart. Like I told you before, this man was in the advanced algebra class getting straight A's. Dog walked me. I had to get out of the class because I couldn't keep up. So I just like to tell y'all that to show y'all how smart this man This man is
All
brilliant.
right.
This man goes into the community. He talks about what he does and the work that he does in the community, results to work and results to,
That's what's up.
stuff. Yeah.
No, hey, I like that he working.
It feels like it's a shade being thrown.
No,
it's sad,
But
I like our black people getting killed. I'm okay with our black men getting killed.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say you're okay. You know, I say you're okay with it. It was just did we have to have different topics on how that is?
And I'm in the trenches, not even in the community. I'm in the trenches in the jungle with the very people that I'm okay with being killed. No, I show through actions.
And he got receipts to show that
that's
what he's doing, pictures and stuff.
I just don't have to broadcast the things that I do. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
he's doing amazing.
You gotta move in silence sometimes.
And to the point now he's got me. I done got
Because you have people
involved.
at you.
Hopefully soon we'll get that connect where I'm going to go in back into our alma mater and go and do some work
Madison?
alongside them. Yeah,
At
Go back
Madison?
to Madison.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
wherever you get in and fit in, it's needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely,
No,
We
definitely.
need
Both
more of
Everywhere
us.
you go.
We need more of us
And
in
the
those
brothers
schools.
show up,
Man.
the better.
You know,
Yes.
the more of
Yes.
us they see us in those schools,
Well,
the
like
more
everybody
they willing
can't
to
show
come.
up, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
But that's some more shade.
everybody. I mean, it depends on how they show up.
It
But,
depends. You got people that've been out here for years
without the
that's been trying to.
He can come in.
But
the
you got
room,
people
there's
that've been
no
out here for
big
years that's been trying to change stuff and it just haven't happened. So at some point you have to be like, hey, look, wait, what we've been doing for over isn't working. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot of people out there been trying to do things for years.
that sounds like, political. What we've been doing ain't been working. If that's the undercurrent I'm hearing.
Not even just political.
Well, I mean,
Not
we
just
just got to
political.
be factual too, though. We didn't get in this mess overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight.
I agree.
And then what,
I agree.
we need to be able to move the needle, we frequently don't have.
Right.
So, it's a lot of people, and not to mention, you got a lot of people step up to the plate to help make change and then not necessarily skill to do that. You got a good heart, but you ain't got the resume to match what you're trying to get done. And people want to go straight to the leadership and not do anything that they need to do to learn how to lead.
Right. I agree with that.
And so
I totally agree with that.
We keep getting the same results a lot of time because we keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
want to be the
and that's
general.
my point. Like, you look at the city of Milwaukee, what we've been through, you know what I'm saying? Your education experience and what you've been through, if it's spiritual, your personal belief, just been through stuff, that is the most powerful educational aspect of an individual that's trying to teach individuals who are like them, that grew up like them. You know what I'm saying? But when you right, yeah, life experience. So when you
life
look at
experience alone isn't
but when
just enough.
no, but when you look at that, because a lot of things of what I've seen, a lot of people who's been in these positions for years, and then you look at the city, I don't go just strictly to the leaders. You know what I'm saying? Because none of these leaders birthed these kids, right? They got parents, fathers.
So we're all on the same topic.
Yeah.
What topic are you guys on?
Well, as she was explaining that, a lot of people doesn't have the right leadership skills to lead.
Area?
In all areas, it depends on
Just
where.
the city
Just the black
overall?
community. Let's just say the black
black
community
community.
within the period, because you have these individuals up here that has these Ivy League education skills, that went to college and have these psych degrees and mental health degrees, and then they go out there. But then you see, okay, you have these people that has this, but things are not getting better.
So you
It's getting
saying
worse.
just like trying to do by the book isn't working.
Yeah, exactly. It's something.
you
We got to
have
be
to
unconventional.
live in
Right, exactly. We
I
got to be
agree.
sometimes be a little bit unconventional, because
Mhm.
if we continue to try to do that and it's not going in the direction, and we see it's not going direction, when we do that, we have to do an audible. We have to change.
So
We
let's
have
be
to
clear.
look
So
at
we
something
just gonna
like
keep
Only
that. We just
20
gonna throw away
Only
the signal.
27% of
No.
Wisconsinites even have a college
No.
education.
How
Right.
many, Michelle?
27%.
The majority of people in Wisconsin are functioning with a high school diploma or some advanced college credits, but have not gotten
Completely.
that, completed and
Right.
gotten that for a year. So, when we talk about what it takes, one of the things that I've seen, and I want to make sure we get back, get to your topic.
Yeah. We're
But
gonna
one
get
of the things that I've seen
kind of
is
related.
just
Man
that
in the household.
because a lot of people don't have certain things, it's become the standard now. As I said, we had 3 county executives that didn't have a college degree at
Yeah.
first.
Right.
correct.
Right.
Chris Abley, David Crawley,
Mhm.
and Scott Walker.
That's his
Right.
friend too, Scott Walker.
Yeah.
his friend.
That's
And
my
then
guy.
David
You
hear
did go
that?
back and get
But Scott.
his. Abley came as a multimillionaire, so I guess you didn't really need yours at that point in the game. but you see people with a great degree of experience and skills being pushed out. And you got to ask, like, well, what is that about?
Yes.
So you got to have a mix of both. But,
Right.
you know, you can't
agree.
just say I got street cred, but
Right.
then you don't really, you know, like I tell
You
people all
can't
the time,
translate that to
yeah,
nothing.
when I go in and present, there's some people that are naturally good presenters.
Mm.
And there are other people, they've been coached and tuned up to be able to know how to captivate an audience, what to look for, how to, you know, understanding that the average adult's attention span is only so many minutes.
Yes.
You know, so whatever you're going to say, you need to get it in here. When you're doing marketing, you got to say something to people 7 times before they
Or they-
retain it.
It's
Exactly.
performative.
Yeah. And
Right.
so, you know,
I agree.
so there
Absolutely.
is some science to some of this. And I just think that we get caught up sometimes here in the city where folks are like, you know, you don't need this, you don't need this, your life experiences is enough.
That's
And
a
I'm
lie.
like, frequently it's not.
Right.
Mhm.
And I say that
Mhm.
because I am that lived experience. So when people say, hey, you just need the streets or the lived experience, no, because I don't live off that notion of, you know, that's not a badge to me to say I'm from the streets and that gives me enough credibility. No,
No, that would give you street
do have-
credibility.
but I'm just going off of what you implied because,
Right.
like I said, it seems like that's your marketer to from the streets, and I'm from those very streets too, and that's not a badge to me. It was a living hell, but I position myself to get out of that. But I'm bringing my people with me, and when I feel like most Black men, if you are conservative, Republican, yes, you are hindering those policies because you're in agreement with policies that hinders us because you said that, hey, we've been trying for decades. Yes, for decades, it's been policies in place that's hindering us. Not even just the policies, but also the systematic mechanisms from the prison systems and how they are designed for the Black man. And when I say the Black men and the minority, you look at it statistically, who's in the prisons. It's not because of they just going there. When you taking things away from people and not giving nothing in return, what you expect. You say yourself, you got to get it off you. You believe in people getting off their butts and getting them themselves. So to them, if you're not giving them no leverage to even get into that door because you're doing everything to hinder that door,
Mhm.
how you think they're going to get in? They're going to dig a hole underneath the door. So
Well, when
which
I
is a
say
great-
I just want to when I say street credibility, what that means is when I say I'm from the street, that means that that's a formula of a statement saying that I don't want to use the word validation, but it's understanding what individuals of street life is, and I don't want to say it's more of like no snitching, you know, against law enforcement or anything of that. When I use that terminology, I use that terminology as in saying that the relatable to what individuals are going through within the community when it comes to the street culture. There's a street culture.
but that's not
But
the meaning
wait,
of
can
it.
I ask them about that? So, with you saying that, how
Doesn't make
again? I'm
sense.
sorry. How could you be a conservative?
What you mean?
Because like
They're
the
against
party
all
that
of
you're
it.
Hold on.
the party that you're with
Hold on.
is saying, "Hey, I don't care what y'all got going on. Y'all should have these things." They're not taking in factor what they've been through or the type of atmosphere they put them in. You can't win.
Right, but see
They're
the
not
thing,
put in place to be successful.
right?
So how
But
can
when you
say
look
they
at,
should.
but when I say that is when I'm looking at that is that because it's not just the Republicans that are attacking the Democrats. You know, we have had multiple throughout the years. The Republicans has not been in office all 300 some years of what the United States has been here, right? So we have both Democrats and Republicans has been in Milwaukee of control of
But when
Milwaukee
the
for so years.
Republicans are in
Right.
leadership,
But
more
it goes
than-
down.
Right,
We
but
get
but,
more
but what
there.
I'm saying is because I know it was a comment as in, you know, they're taking away things, they take
We
away
decline.
things. So at one point, and I don't even want to really use MPS as an example, but at one point when you have so much investment in a system where you're supposed to increase and help individuals, and you're investing and you're not seeing the benefit of your investment.
Let's talk about
At what point do you stop and say, okay, wait a minute, we got to
Let's talk
look
about
at this
why.
because
Let's
we
talk
are
about
not.
Says the
Let's talk about
man
why.
who's friends with an individual who
Right.
took
Takes away.
$800
Right.
million from a
Please.
school system and said,
Right.
hey, there's a problem. Of course there's going to be a problem when you take $800 million from a school
And you're
from a
putting
school
policies
district,
in
when
place
you
to
don't have an
support that.
education yourself. Let's not forget your unbecoming behavior at Marquette is the reason why you don't have a degree, but that's just something I'm gonna just put out there. real
Yeah,
quick.
but the thing
yeah.
about, but when you look at that, you got to look at the NPS school system. The NPS school system was losing their kids. Parents that
Why?
was, hold on, wait.
Why though?
The parents
They
that
got
was
to
living
fill in our
hold on.
schools.
The parents we had talked about this. The
Right.
parents that was living in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee County, these parents was moving to the suburbs of Brown Deer, West Allis, taking
Why?
it because they didn't like the school system. My mother worked it for NPS for years. She retired for NPS.
So your mom was a DI
Since the-
hire then.
Right. So what
the
if you say that?
Republican,
But-
Republican ran legislation
Right,
is
no.
the ones who slashed the dollars,
Right,
the
so-
ones who's in
so-
those budget.
So,
So when you're
if you're
slashing
losing,
NPS,
but you're
and
losing
not giving
kids,
any money,
though.
what
You
you gonna
can't-
do? You're
you
not
cannot
losing.
get
They're
the
not
same-
losing the kids
So
just
first of
because.
all,
Wait a minute,
you
if
gotta
you're
be
losing
able to
kids, you
understand-
cannot
No, because
continue to get the
see,
same dollar amount if your
talking
kids are
about,
leaving.
like MPS had this abundance of money, but one of the very first things
It was like a
that you need to
$1.3 billion dollars.
But that's okay. It's the biggest district in the state.
I get that, but you was
But-
losing kids to school choice.
But again, there is a reason, a rhyme, and a reason to everything. Number one, the city of Milwaukee sends $1 to the state by way of taxes. We get back 40 cents on our dollar.
Okay.
And that's to go across everything that we got to do in the city.
Right.
So when you're talking about like we got this boatload of money, the money is not as great as you would think in terms of our capacity and our size. There was also something called a funding flaw
Okay.
in terms of MPS not getting their fair share of money
Correct.
from the state of
From the
Wisconsin.
state,
It is.
absolutely.
We are subsidizing
because of
other
legislation
districts
passed by the
around state.
Republican-led party.
You know, and Republicans knew that they were shortchanging Milwaukee public school children on a number of things. You change residency requirement, you know,
all
so
of those things.
you change a lot of the different support systems. If my kids want art, band, a number of things, they got to leave the district to go get it because you're
Don't have
stripping it out of
You're
the
Ripping it out
district.
of the NPS
So
when
it's
you're
not
taking the
just
money.
that-
Home ec,
There's
all
a
that.
boatload of money been put into MPS and people have mismanaged it or not done what they needed to educate
They
our
don't
children.
mismanage.
Again, there's mismanagement everywhere,
Okay,
right
go
up to
ahead.
the very government
Right.
that we look at.
Right.
But
Y'all,
the point is-
president is a
is that
30-time Ford
you
felon behind it.
cannot have this discussion
I
and
want
not
to-
fairly
yeah.
address the fact that for decades, Milwaukee Public Schools was not given its fair share of resources.
Yes.
So if you got some districts that got $12,000, $18,000 per pupil, and we got 7, and then you create the choice voucher system where kids can take that money, parents can say, oh, I want to send my kid to school over here because they making it sound so much better. My kid gets over there. They are the subject of racist attacks.
Absolutely.
Teachers that are indifferent to them.
Yes.
Then ultimately a disciplinarian problem, a discipline problem. So those kids come back to MPS, but all the money stayed in
there.
that district.
Yep.
So now and then you talk about these schools, they don't have to have an IEP. They don't have to have special needs children. They didn't have to accept them.
I agree
So
with that.
MPS then ends up getting
All
all
of
of the
it.
children
Right.
That
I
the
totally get
regular
that.
schools doesn't
schools
want.
won't take.
So
I totally-
for
I
you-
totally-
so
I totally-
how
if
can
you're
you
gonna-
put them
like
in
I
a winning
always say, If you're
situation?
gonna say it, if you're gonna talk about it, you got to talk about all of it,
Right.
not just cherry
Yeah.
pick the pieces.
Okay, then,
Piece
so
of
then
it.
what
Beneficial.
part you miss it? Well, then the other part you got to talk about all of it because the other part that you miss it is that when the superintendent that became governor,
Governor
can't think
Evers?
his name- no, can't think his name, Jim Doyle. So when Jim Doyle,
Doyle wasn't superintendent.
No, he was
governor.
never. A
Oh, no, wait,
superintendent
so-
of
Tony
schools.
Evers.
wait, Tony Evers,
Got
got
the
a
white boys
governor.
mixed up.
Okay, right. Sorry, they all look alike. They all look alike.
You did not
But
say
but
that. You
when
did
when
not
he
say
was
that.
governor, the teachers union, right? The teachers union, a lot of jobs that was here locally in the county, like A.O. Smith, that used to pay a lot of taxes, Bridget Stratton, Harley Davidson, those schools. So when we was going through our transition in the private sector, where we was dealing with the union element, at the time that my mother was working for MPS, she told me like they didn't pay into their pension, they didn't pay to their health care. Taxpayers pay for that. So Jim Doyle went to the teachers and say, look, we need you guys to contribute to your own pension and your own health care. We can only fully fund the system of providing that with tax dollars because we don't have that economic.
You know what?
That-
Were you in
Right,
those
that
rules?
wasn't. Hold on. That didn't happen.
You
Yeah,
create,
you
that
creating
happened.
a smoke
You
screen.
Wait, that didn't happen. So talk about it all.
We are talking about it all, and we're talking about it some
But
more.
you talk about that though.
So if you're gonna talk
No,
about
I'm
that,
not talking- I'm not talking about
yes, you are.
Yes, you
No.
are. Sign
This
my
was
divorce.
before. This was
But
before
it's
Act 10.
precedence for Act
He
10.
came in and did
So
Act
you
10.
create a
This
whole
was before
separate-
Act 10. Walker
but you
came in and did Act 10.
create a whole
This was an
separate
issue.
Because they were
lane
trying to cheat
for
the
Milwaukee
This
teachers.
was the
police.
issue. Right.
You
This was the
create a
issue.
whole separate lane
Thank
for
you.
Milwaukee police
Thank you.
and the people that you believe are your supporters than you do for every other public unit.
But this
So
just the
how
one
do
for
you
Scott
set up
Walker
one-
though.
if you a
Jim
union-
Dole was this was
But
under Jim
again-
Dole as well.
But again,
No,
This
it
wasn't-
wasn't.
yes, it was.
again,
Yes, it was.
you-
Look it up.
but-
Yes, it
but
was.
Act 10 is the
They
thing
didn't have a
that
contract for
finally
years.
is the definition.
That's why Jim Dole didn't run for governor and Scott Walker came in because the teachers they didn't have a contract. The MPS school teachers didn't
So
have
you
a
fought
contract
that.
so,
Now,
for
at least
years.
be able
No,
to make the conversation
because he
make
wanted
sense.
It didn't make it
because
sense
he
what you
wanted
saying,
them.
bro.
No, because he.
I'm not talking-
Well, what I'm saying is because
Okay,
the
but
reason
what
why
does that have to
because-
do with children failing in
What you mean?
education? What does that have to do?
Absolutely
have to
nothing.
do
And you
with
know,
the
once
funding? That
when
goes
they
with
don't
the
have
funding.
anything to
That's
say,
not-
that's
that
part of
makes sense,
funding.
they get to rap
That's
out a
part-
bunch of
no.
words.
That's
that is
has
part of
nothing to do
farming.
with
That is
it.
farming.
No,
You
it's
just
not,
said
bro.
800 million was cut. That was
Yeah.
part of funding.
No,
Funding that was signed by Scott Walker
But
when
let's
he was
look at
governor.
it.
All that money
He
that
got
all they
y'all-
cut.
million,
Right.
and then when he ran for president, guess who magically found 800 million to put back into the district because he
All
was
of a
trying to
sudden.
get votes.
I got a question.
So
Didn't
just
get
think
it.
about that.
Was the
You
pension
didn't have
and
to
was the
make
pension
those
and
cuts.
healthcare part of the 800 million cut?
Hold on a second.
Yes, it was.
Hold on. Michelle,
Did
my-
did
my
they have a
18
union contract?
Man, you
No, they
ain't- you ain't
didn't.
talking about- My 18
Did they?
says hi.
Then
Right here. That's my
please,
18.
hello, teacher.
So Michelle, you hi. That's my T.
Just yes or no? I just want to.
I mean,
Did
well,
they?
okay,
Was
I
they running?
just
Was
wanna
they? Was
follow-
they running? Was they? Did they have a union contract? Teachers,
But-
no.
Okay.
What
Was
does
it
the
800
union
million part of the
contract has to
pension?
do with
Well, I mean,
them
but
with
like,
I'm not following.
Because of the
legislative
money, he
Republicans
said they was cut.
cutting.
And what I'm
They
trying
don't
to
have
say, the
anything
reason
to do
part
with
of-
them taking funding from MPS because they didn't have a teachers union contract. You know how retarded that sounds? That's like saying, hey, even
know,
though that
no,
plane is
no,
going to Chicago,
no,
it
no.
landed in
Well,
Milwaukee.
I'm saying all
That
that's
ain't
in the same bucket. That's all in the
It ain't
same
the
bucket,
same
man.
bucket.
You
It's
didn't have the
not.
kids there. Hold on,
No.
you didn't have the kids there.
because y'all was
Teacher-
stealing money and giving it to the choice
You
schools.
didn't. You
When
didn't
it
have the
came out
kids'
with-
money. You didn't
That
have
was
the
part of
kids
that
there.
backdoor deal. He
And
like backdoor
you didn't have the
deals
kids,
and
and-
hiding the hand.
and you
That's
didn't.
what they
and you had
used
the
to- he
teachers
don't know
doing
what
it, and
they
they
talk
wasn't
about.
doing
He
it.
just
And
rambling.
you have more people working at central office. That's why we paid. That's why she came
What
in.
does that have to do
Because
with
that
children
has-
failing,
No.
bro?
That has to do with money. That's the budget of the money of MPS.
So you're
So if
saying
you say
that,
the money isn't
so
there,
you're saying
you have
that
to look
central
at
office
everything.
was top heavy and has always been top heavy, and that's why
No, I
Our
said
kids
you
weren't
said
getting
you said
what they
you know
needed.
you just said you have to hear
Again,
everything.
you
You have to look
okay.
at everything.
Parts
from
of
MPS
everybody
that caused
else
the
except
issue.
for the
So, okay,
politics.
That was
so-
part of it. Hit
so let's-
everything.
at
Just
least-
don't hit
At
certain
least
things.
let's find
Hit
some
everything.
place to agree then.
Right.
Okay.
Hit
So
everything.
that there have
Okay.
been some shortcomings that have hurt our children. In
Yes.
some cases, that didn't have anything to do with our children,
Yeah.
Correct.
and it's been done by both parties.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep,
let's keep
we
going.
cool.
That's
Yep.
we're
What
gonna
else
keep
you
it
got?
going.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I said the Jim Doyle part because he fought for them to have contract,
Yeah, he
and then
he don't know what he's
Scott
talking
Walker
about.
ripped it away.
He
Wait,
ripped it
hold
away.
on. You said pardon me?
All of
Jim Doyle.
Jim Doyle fought
Jim
for it.
Dore was in the governor for 8 years.
He fought
And Scott
for
Walker
them
was
to
governor
have
for
it.
8 years.
Right.
That's the
So
thing.
before, but they didn't have a contract. They didn't have a contract for
And
4
Tommy
years.
Thompson was it before
And
Jim
before-
Doyle?
Right.
Hold on.
That's
I mean, when was they? How much? When did they sign it? When did they
got
sign
the
the contract?
in 2009,
when the Republicans
Okay.
is running the state as government, as the governor, our city go to shit.
and then
Period.
Scott Walker came.
They
and
come
he
in
ripped it
cut
away
more
in
money from
2011.
Milwaukee.
And
What you mean,
um,
But
ripped
that
it
was
away?
part of, like I
That's
said, it
exactly
was part of
what it
Act
said.
10.
We're gonna get to the
he
subject.
said he wouldn't allow them to negotiate.
And what's
the contract
ironic,
and limit
Milwaukee-
their wages.
And what's ironic,
Well, the
Milwaukee is
wages
the
was
biggest
the
revenue
issue.
generator for the
The-
entire
the-
state.
the
Everybody's
wages
budget, guess what?
was the
Everyone's
issue.
budget, including MPS, any private schools, whether it's West Dallas, any school, get their budget based off of Milwaukee numbers and how we're doing and where our budget sit at. Then everyone else's funding come around. But guess who's the biggest generator? Milwaukee. Who gets the smallest cut? Milwaukee.
But we
That
don't
makes
get the
no
smallest
sense.
cut, but we definitely don't get
Mark
what we
Ryan,
should
stop,
get.
wait, y'all. Stop acting like you don't podcast and people don't talk over people when they get it through. Don't do that.
What do you think?
Talking about some people if they.
Oh wait, somebody else on here. They say at her degree, it's hard to hear We cut each other. We ain't cutting each other off, are we?
No,
I think so. I think we was just
Well, it happens. You had those moments.
politely interject.
Yeah, you know, you had a moment.
Politely interject.
They all do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
why.
Right.
Podcast,
I
you
want
can
them
never
to stop
win.
pretending like they don't.
Yeah,
They do it when they on the phone. Come
Okay,
on.
so I do want to segue into the actual topics. We can at least hit that, and it's the impact of Black fathers in the home. The reason why I want to talk about that because I'm a Black father in my home. I made a choice, a conscious decision to make sure I didn't have kids all over the city of Milwaukee, 5 to be exact. And I wanted to make sure that when I did decide to have children, I had them with one woman, which was going to be my wife, and I was going to be an active father in the home. And I believe that a lot of times we take that for granted because the Black man inside of his home is such important to our communities. I just wanted to bring that out, talk about that, see where we land. So, Michelle, as a Black woman,
Yes.
what is your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think like anybody else, you have to concur that having that role model, that male example in the house is important. I think though, you know, one of my colleagues at the radio station, he always has a running joke for me. It always goes back to slavery. I don't care what I'm talking about. It always goes back to slavery.
Yes.
Keith Paris always says that about me. And it really does, because there was a systemic effort to keep brothers out of leadership roles, out of the households, to minimize them in terms of significance to the family as ways to break and keep our families dysfunctional.
Absolutely.
And so when you tie basic survival and eating and housing to whether or not a man is in that home, or you refuse to allow people to get married in the early, you know, I have to remind people the things that we talk about are things that are still relatively new to us.
Yes.
And what do I mean by that? I was born in 1964. Okay. So the 1965 Voting Rights Act hadn't passed yet.
Right.
So when we talk about people having the ability to go vote unencumbered, you know, no literacy test, no count the jelly beans in the jelly bar. I mean, in a number of jelly beans in the jar. That's happened since I've been alive. You know, and so when we talk about why we don't vote, why we don't this, because other people been voting since the 1800s.
Hundreds of years.
Black men got the vote first, but they only had that brief period during Reconstruction of 12 years when you get to actually exercise, run for office. We get the first U.S. Black Senator, Hiram Revels, whose granddaughter actually ran Milwaukee Child Welfare, great-granddaughter, ran Milwaukee Child Welfare for a period of time. But, you know, so a lot of things that we say are important, are based on what white society has deemed as important, what those households are supposed to look like. And again, just trying to get people to understand, because we will beat ourselves up really bad and we will see infighting in relationships because women have been pushed in these situations where you can get a job, but your husband can't. And one thing leads to another. You end up being a higher earner, more education, you know, frequently. And so now you're setting up all of these different, you know, internal issues in the marriage and in the relationship. But I think that nobody would disagree. More is always better, you know, so it's better to have the grandparents around. You know, we all that had the benefit of growing up with grandparents. And if you had fun, you was in the game.
Hey, true grandparents.
You know, but you got people now that's growing up without that extended village. And so I think that, it's always important.
Yes.
But I think we got to figure out how to get on the page to support each other, because, you know, I listened to some of the comments that get said, you know, sisters don't support brothers. Sisters don't want us to succeed,
And that's
you know.
false.
And then, you know, we ain't gonna talk about, I got to go find a white woman because this is too hard. They too tough. They too whatever. So it's so many dynamics. But when we get to the point mentally where we figure out that this has all been done by design, because the most powerful thing in the world is a strong family unit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so if y'all got that kind of power, now that means your headspace is right.
Yes.
You can go out here and compete for these jobs differently.
Right.
You can go after these politicians differently, these elected positions. So the better your foundation is,
Yes.
the bigger threat you are. So I got to mess up your foundation. That's why in the Trump administration, the first 7 months of him being in office, we got 350,000 unemployed Black women
Mhm.
because most of them were government employees.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is breadwinners making six figures that's disrupting houses. And so now we got friends living in DC telling us we got houses for sale everywhere.
Chaos.
You know, and so
Orchestrated.
if I mess with your foundation,
Mhm.
and before we went on the air, I talked about messing with our churches.
Yes.
Because you got more of these white churches that got Black men fronting up in the pulpit like it's a Black church, and it's really white folks that's kind of pushing it, non-denominational. Why? Because that's the foundation. So that's the thing but I don't know who would be against not having solid families, role models, and men, because each of us have a role to play in raising
Right.
these children.
Mhm.
And I agree with her. Like if you look at it, like
You
we
agree
all,
with Michelle?
hold on, like I love Michelle.
What?
We but hold on. But hold on, let me finish. Hold on. Right, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish. I totally agree with her when it comes, because I look at that, like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I came from a Black woman, and we all come from women. When you look at that, they're the most, to me, women are the most powerful creatures on this earth, because you guys reproduce. God gave y'all the reproduction system, right? We don't have it. You know, we play an important part to contribute for a child to be born, which is important, but that person nurture it, the woman nurture it, take care of it and everything, all the responsibility.
She nurtures, and nurtures.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna get me right.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
because that's
so
not
I
just
just go-
enough.
but-
It's for both.
Right. And that man, you know, is a very important person in that element. My mom, you know, saying you 64, I'm 73, coming from, you know, Georgia, you know, and she was on welfare. I remember, like I say, I remember social workers used to come in under the Welfare Act, and then coming to the Wisconsin, that they came in and checked and make sure men didn't have households, clothes in there, mail wasn't sitting no mail. Like I really watched people come in and check for that. So that really,
you know who they started the low income housing?
For
It was for white.
Yeah.
white
yeah, most likely. I'm not even putting like a color or race on it
No,
as
you,
in
you
that.
did before.
You
But
did.
that was,
You
but
definitely
I didn't do that
did.
today because we're talking about Black women. Because we're talking about Black
But
women
it's
and
a
important.
fact, it's a fact.
Right, but
fact.
it's important how it's
Right.
important for men to be in the household. So what I'm saying is that I didn't have that man in the household
Okay.
because of what was I don't want to say what was
Because
the law
of
or the
Republican.
requirement.
It was.
Yeah,
Well, it was a,
it wasn't
a
it wasn't
fraction
Republican
of it,
did.
but it was also
It wasn't
a decision
it wasn't
of that
that
man
signed
not
that.
to
All right.
You
want to
know,
be.
Let's do
but then
research on
again,
that.
house.
you
Because
don't wanna-
welfare
You
came
can't just
from,
fault
you
that
know,
at some
saying
reasoning.
Who created
That-
the
so-
low-income
so you-
housing and who it was for,
right,
and it was.
I mean, the whole system of welfare was created for white women.
right,
Correct.
The whole
right,
system of
right, exactly.
But I'm telling him, he's under the impression.
No, I get
that
what you're saying. They
conservatives
recruit.
had
No,
nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Like
it
Ronald
both.
Reagan's whole welfare
Both.
queen.
Both of them was
all
like, come on now.
nonsense.
When
Totally.
Kennedy got, he's the
No,
one
but
that
it was
signed
mostly
it.
the Republicans.
He was
who
Kennedy got
passed the law.
assassinated. His vice president was the one that signed the Welfare Act.
Wow.
So let's do,
But
but that's
still.
history, right? So what?
It was
Right.
a
So what I'm
bipartisan
saying is,
Republican-led
what I'm
effort.
saying. Let me go back. What I'm saying is,
Queuing up history.
like, exactly, because we talking about
No,
history.
you-
Like we
it
talking
ain't
about history.
You stating
Queuing it.
No, I'm not.
and giving false
Really?
history.
That's not false.
You
Is that
sitting out
false
here-
history?
You
So
part of that
who-
plot. That
Who signed- who
plot
signed- who
thinking
signed the
group.
welfare into law? Who created the welfare system?
The
What
Republican
what
Party.
did that? Since we know we can fact check.
The Republican Party.
Everybody got Google. Everybody got Google.
No, it was Democrat.
You
So,
know what?
They can
But this-
look at that. But what I'm saying, like you said, it was created for white women, right? You said it was created for white women. It was created. It was signed in law by Democrats, but it was created by for white women.
God.
Okay,
So-
on to the subject.
Please,
Right,
let's
I
get
mean,
back
We
to
talking
the
about black
subject.
fathers in the home.
Right.
So it's
Skewer
important.
history.
I got a
No,
question.
I'm
Since
just
we
saying.
said the
I'm saying it-
dynamics of
Hold up. What I'm saying is that it was like she said. This was set up. This was set up to take the man out of the household, right? So what I'm saying is like I'm a protege of that being there because my dad wasn't there. It's so crazy because he was a military guy, And I was tripping by me being young back then that the military and stuff being like, hold up, you didn't take
No,
care of
he a
me.
Rolling Stone, so
But,
he was a lot of fathers like that. back in the day.
Yeah. So, you know, I it's important to me. I think if I would have had my father
Okay.
there, I probably would have did things a little bit different. A lot of my educational as in being a man came from men around me. So then that's men. I grew up on Keith. So if that was whoever man that was outside, that was next door neighbor, that was somebody else's dad or some, gravitating that's what boys do. They gravitate. They need that man role model, and you don't have that. That is going to change his life forever, and it's important. I think it's very important. That's why I'm so much in my children's lives that they have someone that they can come talk to, ask questions, because I didn't have that, and I know they're going to be different.
Are you upset by the fact that that Trump has something to do with so many men in Milwaukee, black men in Milwaukee being incarcerated?
What do you mean?
Well, not helping them, because remember you talked about the First Step Act.
The
Remember
first
that?
thing, yeah,
You
I mean,
thought
we
Trump-
talked. That was
You thought he did that, but
no,
it doesn't matter. He signed
no.
it. You're
I
right.
didn't say,
You're
I
right.
didn't
He
say
signed
you
it.
did. Go ahead.
But do you know that's not helping anyone here, any black men?
But he screamed black
You
men,
talking
black
First Step
unity
Act?
though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Didn't do nothing.
Makes
Because
no sense.
most of the incarcerated men, black men here, is more state level, and that's for federal.
exactly.
So yeah,
It's the
so
state,
it
right.
get no help.
I agree with that.
You
More
threw that
state,
out there like
the
it was-
federal part was a lot of my kids, a lot of my friends from like Westlawn and Parkland that sold drugs. They got indicted federal. So the federal when it was war, and that was Nancy Reagan, when it was war on drugs back then, when Reagan was in office, it was more of a federal issue that they try to use to stop the war on drugs. So then when Clinton came, yes, it was. It was.
I mean,
No.
okay,
But when
again,
Clinton
that
came in,
if
he
you're gonna
signed the
sell
TTP.
it,
Right.
you put the drugs in the community and then
Right.
you create a
And create
war
a
on
war
drugs
on drugs.
There we go.
He's
You
telling
put
me
the drugs
come
in the
on.
community to
Right.
finance
We didn't have no
wars.
hands on no boats. Right.
No, you want to
Right.
finance wars overseas,
Correct.
I'm not knocking that.
and
You're right.
so
Iran Contra.
there
Right.
you go. So
And
you
using
Then-
the
then
CIA
when Clinton
and
got
all
in,
of that.
But when Clinton
Come
got in,
on.
he signed the crime. Act.
because
There you go, go with that.
everybody.
Now you got crime. That's all
Everybody
y'all
was
say.
asking for it. If
Right.
black folks, black legislators signed it.
Legal
Everybody.
market.
Everybody. So
You
you
know,
can't say that was a
because,
Democratic
as I
thing.
said
No, but
today
it-
on
but
my
it went
show,
out-
because of
went
the
out
way
to
we
black-
talk
black-
about
black
crime
people.
in our community. And we have to be careful because people
Correct.
will take our words
There we
and
go.
turn it into
That's what I was
policy
just about to
and
say.
put their foot on our neck when we really needed resources because you
Mhm.
see, it was crack cocaine.
Mhm.
But when it's opioid addiction
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
meth,
Hit the
now
white
we got
communities.
treatment.
Now we got
Yeah.
treatment.
You
for
know-
it. Come on.
and all that. Now you
I
have-
always say the biggest drug dealers is pharmaceuticals.
No,
They're the drug
but
dealers.
it's not
That's
just
because
about
that's
that
how-
piece
that's how-
of it.
that's how opiates
It's
came
also
with-
about how
And most of
people
them vote Republican
responded to it.
and support Republican
No, that wasn't-
ideology.
No, that wasn't
Yes.
it.
If you feel
No,
like
if
Look
you
up
know-
how much money the
look at Obama
pharmaceutical
ran. Look
money
who
gave
funded
the
his
Republican
campaign.
Party.
Look who
Are
funded
you
Obama.
serious
Wait,
right now?
I said, look who.
Oh,
We talking
my
about Obama.
What was the
God.
first
Why you have to go to the black man though?
Okay,
You
okay.
want to mention the black president? Yeah,
Go ahead.
And
boy.
what we got?
House nigga tendencies.
Go
to tell you.
Here we go again.
Do y'all believe the system was set up to separate families? Is now something we adopted and continue?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't know
To
that
an
we've
extent.
adopted
We
it.
haven't
but
adopted
it's been
it,
hard
but
to
when
come
we
back
got people
from
like
There we
him
go.
spewing
Yeah.
data
We still
and
trying to
having
fight our
people
way back
giving this
from.
false
No,
information.
Yeah.
I
When we
want
have people that support ideas that comes from our very communities
Let-
that's
let-
affecting us,
no, but hold,
we ain't gonna never get anywhere. So
It's
we're not
more- it's
adopting
more-
it.
it's
It's
more
been
dog.
forced. Because you part of that
You know what I'm
problem.
saying?
You're just
I
like
was-
you're part of it.
Long period of time. And never got
You part of it.
That's not true.
I want to hear what
That's not true.
Okay, each
That's
of you,
not
each
true.
of you respond.
I want to
ahead,
hear
go
what you said again. You see, you throw Obama in there, so let's go there.
Okay, so
Them
the
to my
reason,
black fathers. Let's
right.
go to a
so the
who's
reason
an excellent
why
black father. Let's go there.
the reason why I brought up Obama because one of the things that I felt I know health care issue was the issue because a lot of people was going to hospitals for care, right? We know that. So one of the things he did come in and do Obamacare, and that wasn't
The
just
Affordable
for
Health Care Act.
right? Affordable care.
Look,
But that wasn't just for
Obamacare
everybody.
was an end that
Right.
that the
That the
Republicans
Republicans
gave.
That
it.
wasn't.
Yeah.
That
It was
wasn't
Affordable Health
but
Care.
it was for everybody. It
So I'm
wasn't
trying
just
to be
for black.
funny
It was
with
for everybody.
Okay.
But if you look at that, and you look at the element of where you look at the campaign donations, if you look at a
Nope.
lot of pharmaceuticals
No.
wanted
No.
a help
No.
because Hillary Clinton tried it. She tried it when she tried to come in and they shut her down.
Again,
So when he
all you
came
got to
in,
do
next thing you
is
know,
watch
it's opiate.
the
You
company that
reaching.
makes
Once you see-
Viagra,
You're
where they
reaching,
give
bro.
all their money
Correct.
to
We
Republicans.
can't.
Follow the money.
The pharmaceutical companies.
He
And let me
reaching.
just be clear.
That's what
Lobbyists
Republicans do.
play
He always
the
reaching.
people that's
Fact
in
check it,
power.
y'all.
Fact check
Fact
it.
check.
Pull it up.
Lobbyists
See where they got
play
money.
Pull it up. Go to the
to
donor
the
site and
party
pull it
that
up
is in
For
power.
Obama.
for Obama.
Yeah, so for Obama, there were a number. It just says there were a number of different donors, but some of the donors, the employees from the pharmaceutical companies.
Those are employees. We're talking about the CEOs.
But it was.
I
more-
guarantee you're gonna see their name on that Republican donor list, though. Like, come on, bro, you deflecting.
In law
Like,
sectors, and then the employees.
Yes,
Yeah.
y'all look it up.
But no, you look it up. Yeah.
You know what? I get what
You
you're
know,
saying, but
we
I'm
the
saying
one that-
pharmaceuticals
That's
wanted-
like-
get your ass
That's
out of
like
here.
if you want to talk about
Please don't listen to nothing this man say, y'all.
Pharmaceuticals was
Look
gonna make
at-
money.
look at-
Look They
gun
gonna make money.
manufacturers. Look at gun manufacturers.
So-
Where all their money go?
The
To
National
the
They money all
Republicans.
goes to Republicans.
I agree.
What are brothers using to kill themselves with?
Guns.
Right.
Why can't we
How do they
get
get guns?
simple
From the
laws on
CIA
the
and the
books?
American people.
You know how? No.
The lax laws from the Republican
What's lax
land.
law? What's lax
The
law?
lax-
What's
the lax
lax
law?
And when you talk about
The lax
I'll
law.
tell you one that you can buy guns from gun shows without ID.
Without
That you can
identification.
have
I
bump
agree with that.
stocks that you can buy online that can turn a weapon into an automatic weapon.
These kids,
You
are
know
making
that you
guns on
got
that.
straw
Right to
sales that are
Amazon.
happening.
right?
That we
That's a
can't
law,
get-
it's a law for that. But go ahead.
But we can't get but we have to get it passed. Not
Wait,
Republicans.
no, wait. The straw
But-
has been a straw. You can't do a
No,
straw.
No,
straw
the book.
purchases.
He ain't been on the
Again,
books.
that's
No,
the
he ain't been on the
book.
books. And it become on the books
Yeah,
until it
that's
But
became a
then
law.
That's the
also
book.
that
No.
you got
You can't buy a gun for somebody else that's a felon and give it to somebody.
That ain't what we
Go ahead.
saying,
That's
bro.
not what we saying nor talking about.
Okay.
So, in 2016, pharmaceutical companies
16.
donated to Trump
What?
Of course. I told you.
$1.3 million.
Who?
In 2020, they donated again in the amount of $2.6 million.
To who? To who?
that sounds
Okay.
low.
So
That actually-
Right. I
that's
was
a
saying,
lot of
that
money.
does sound really
But-
low.
but-
That sounds
but-
low.
Real.
That's
From
what-
a pharmaceutical
Okay.
company?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and
Can I
then
be finding that when you say that?
Oh,
this campaign, it says 14 million. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm just trying to figure out like all of the different pharmaceutical companies I can think of.
Mhm.
And 1 million, yeah, you
It's
could
higher
see
than that.
Well,
Got
maybe
to
that was
Yeah.
he didn't he lose it?
2016, that was
One, I'm talking about 2020, he lost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
maybe-
lost a
Yeah,
buy.
but maybe when he first came out, maybe they didn't believe in him
maybe.
for real.
I don't know.
Because he was, remember, he come from this TV show and then.
Right.
So to get that much is crazy.
So,
and you
so
came from a TV show.
let me
That's insane.
respond to that.
That's a
So
kind of
when you look at the pharmaceutical, because Trump when he came in, he said,
Oh my
"You know
God,
what?
another
We're gonna
Rand
start-
story.
we're
Can we
gonna
get to
start
the new
buying-
subject, please?
We
we're gonna
trying,
start
but we
buying
always end up back in this
our
food.
Because he talking
medication
spewing
from other
nonsense.
countries
You know
because you
that
guys
was
are
not
selling.
true,
Hold
You
on.
said what?
Listen, the same pharmaceutical here company that's selling one product sell it to Canada for cheaper.
You know that had
And then
You love conspiracy theories, bro.
so wait a minute. Are you telling me? Are you guys?
But you know what that is?
She
That,
know what I'm doing with
this,
this.
but
that-
this is
because
capitalism
right.
that Republicans love.
Love.
But what you mean?
This is
They got rich
capitalism
off of
that
women
Republicans love. That being able to say, we will pay, we will charge what the market will bear. That is Republican 101.
So why did
Whereas
your
Democrats
godfather
sound
Obama,
like
when he
socialists
did-
because they
your
start
godfather
talking
Obama,
about
when he did
affordability.
Care, why he didn't change it when he had control of the Senate and the
I love when
Congress?
y'all say that. No, he said
Why
Obama.
we keep talking about Obama from
Because-
2012, bro?
because
It's
they love-
2025.
that's all they can do.
13 years.
That's all they
Y'all
can do.
love talking about
That's all they can do.
We
And-
was
and
on
since
that
you-
song.
Jesus
and
Christ.
since
We
you-
was on
wait,
healthcare.
wait,
We was
Well,
on
we're going to
healthcare.
talk about Obama. Put him in the context of your conversation.
Right.
Responsible father
Correct.
Yes.
versus
And had two black,
Your
beautiful
boy.
girls.
5 broken homes.
your boy, responsible father. Not cheating on your wife with the porn star while she pregnant.
While she's
So,
pregnant.
if we gonna talk about it, let's talk
You
about
know,
it.
we
Right.
don't-
I totally.
Since the subject
I
is
mean,
about,
Oh yeah, it's about
Like I
black
said,
fathers.
myself
You know,
included. I didn't have
and
kids
it's
until I
like
was married.
one thing
So
I've
that's the
noticed
decision I
about
wanted to do.
I've noticed about some of that rhetoric, they always like to go back to attacking that black leadership that we talk about. He had no flaws, no errors. So we have our people that like to throw that in there, like he came with Affordable Care Act. Come on, man. We share borders with a country that's giving their people free health care, and they seem to be doing very well.
Universal health care.
No,
They
nah.
seem yes,
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 they are.
oh,
Yes,
yes, they are. Yes,
yes,
they
they
are. And we're gonna fact check
Yes,
that.
they are.
Canada is doing very well for themselves, bro.
And even if they're not, the
Right,
idea
right.
that
No,
wait,
they
but the
are.
idea
She
they
know they
are.
got issues.
No,
They
no,
got
no.
issues.
But what I'm
Let's-
saying
of
is,
course they have
because I
issues,
want
but
to
we're
bring
talking
it,
about
I wanna bring it back
financially.
locally.
Yes.
Republicans
Bring it
have
back,
had
Michelle.
ample opportunity to introduce something
Ain't did
And
shit.
to help people in terms of health care,
Nothing.
and they've done nothing.
And they done.
Nothing.
I agree with
And
that.
when he
They've done
was- and-
nothing.
But
They did
you know,
that.
The
Right.
constant dragging of
I agree with that.
Obamacare,
That's
Obamacare,
all you hear
and
from
then
the Republicans.
Trump
Obama.
wants to come
Damn,
in,
get off his nuts.
repeal the 10 things that were automatically guaranteed and covered to people who had the coverage. Now
Correct.
more and more people are going to lose health care in this country.
Correct.
In Wisconsin, we were looking at the numbers and how many Wisconsinites are going to lose health care because of these policies. All of those things
Which
play
policies you
into
didn't like?
in terms of the
healthcare part.
Medicaid and Medicare.
Right.
And
What
then
part
when
you
your
didn't like
Orange
to that?
Jesus, when
What
your
part
Orange
you didn't
Jesus
like
is
about
confronted about it on a national debate,
I'm
he
just
says,
curious.
"I got a concept of a plan."
I'm just curious.
And
I'm
still,
just
we
curious
ain't
on
even got the
what-
concept
on what
yet, so I don't
he-
wanna hear
on
none of
what
that,
he
man.
said when it came to the.
I guess
the
I'm just.
Medicaid,
I
what
think.
part
I
you
guess
didn't
it's
like?
just interesting that there's more effort done to tear apart something
Correct.
than to create and produce.
Right, but can
Correct.
you give me one
And
thing you
them
didn't like
concepts
about
and-
it?
Yeah,
I want one thing
but
that you didn't like about that.
Getting back to schools though with Trump right now,
Okay.
this administration.
Right.
So the executive order to end the Department of Education, dismantling that.
Correct. Yeah.
Would you put a wrestling personality over? Let's
But
not
he
talk
won't.
about that.
He's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah,
So he's
right,
just going to
Right.
defund
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He's
He's
gonna
funded.
be
He's
funded. He can't. It's the branch
So
of government.
eliminating
Project
approximately
2025.
$7 billion in funding for K through 12 for the physical for 2026 budget. He's targeted so many different programs, which we talked about that. Talking about the fact that he doesn't want us to talk about slavery in its entirety in any schools. How do you feel about that?
Huh, you
You okay with that?
okay with that? You okay with them taking away artifacts out of the
Yeah,
Smithsonian
he okay
Museum
with
in
all that.
Washington?
Making sure
I-
other
you good
races
with that?
can't go to
He
different
okay
schools.
with that.
I get what you said.
That's
Now
cool.
that's the part. I got-
He's just a hypocrite.
The issue-
hypocrite.
I don't agree with that. I think slavery should be, of course, in our books. You know what I'm saying? Trump, if y'all
Wait,
don't
you said
understand, in our education and stuff, like, if you don't, Trump is like a tit for tat, right? You know what I'm saying? I think
What?
he's like tit
What do you
for
tit
tat.
for tat?
You don't know
So,
Trump,
hold on,
so don't nobody
when
know
I-
Trump.
When I say that,
Trump
hold on,
don't
when
know
I say that is that when you look at all the if racism, if slavery gonna be in our books, then I have no problem with the statues or Henry Lee stand up there. It's just a statue. It
What?
doesn't mimic nothing,
Man,
right?
oh
Come
my
on,
God, this
hey,
brother's sick.
What you mean?
You sick,
Yeah.
You
man.
okay with
You
What
sick,
I'm
bro.
saying,
You
this is
sick.
what I'm saying.
You
It's
sick.
part of the
You're
U.S.
sick.
history.
Once
You're
right?
again,
sick. You're
people
sick
like
to say
him
that.
is the
Let me
reason
finish.
why.
You- no,
It's nothing to finish.
Jen,
I-
Nothing to
we
finish.
should-
So,
I-
it's part of
we have
history.
completely drifted from the.
Yeah, can we get back to the
We
subject? 'Cause
all-
he's still a bunch of poison. Yeah,
No,
it don't need to be no part two of that bullshit.
But think about so
That was
let's,
just some
but
stupid
let's
shit.
just use, for example, let's just say for a moment the thing that all people use as an example.
Right.
Would you go to Germany and see statues of Hitler?
No.
Would Jewish people allow statues of Hitler and any of his generals to be publicly displayed throughout the country?
No.
It would not.
I never been.
And what else did Germany do, Michelle?
So-
What else did Germany
So
do?
why
They outlawed
would
the
black
Nazi flag.
people be okay with
Come on, man.
statues being erected? Because, and let's be clear, these statues did not originally exist. The Daughters of the Confederacy,
Mhm.
group of white women
Right.
who was trying to bring some morale back to their men, who had got their hat handed to them in the Civil War, and
Thank you.
over the years start trying, what can we do to uplift our white men? And so the Daughters of the Confederacy
Oh, of
go
course.
about
Yep.
getting these statues erected
Yes.
around the country, getting the textbooks to reflect the Civil War in a different kind of light, all to help the self-esteem of their men.
That was all it was.
And
And we
so
should do the
we're
same thing.
saying,
We just we do
And-
we should do
and-
the same thing. We doing it with Martin Luther King statue. We should get a Malcolm X statue. And we, you know what I'm saying, we even doing statues.
But-
Other countries that haven't even did
a
that.
Malcolm X statue, a Martin Luther King statue, and a Robert E. Lee statue are two totally
different-
different
two
things.
different things.
Two different people, right?
No, two
No.
different
It's two different
ideologies,
things.
Two different ideologies.
Right.
two
Exactly.
different
Two different
values.
One is of hate.
So-
You okay with
so-
them having the hate
I'm-
piece?
I'm not
Erected, you
about
are by saying that.
The
You
thing
are.
about it is,
What about your
yeah,
kids?
it doesn't-
And then-
Right.
that doesn't-
That's
that
how I
doesn't
know
then-
it's like he
at
a
the
lost
same-
soul,
But
man.
at the
statue
same
doesn't
time,
define
but right,
me.
but
That
because,
statue doesn't define
but
me.
this is the thing
Like,
though,
Mark, you
because
know,
at the same time he wants to re-erect these statues. You
Correct.
want to tear down Black history.
That's what I agree. That's what we can agree with, because I don't believe in that.
You
No,
know,
you said you want a statue in general.
No. What I'm saying is that those statues. Those statues was not a big issue to me. It wasn't.
You should
More of us economically and what's affecting the black
As a
people.
black man,
or
you should have an issue with
No.
that.
What?
man.
No.
That's
what,
the biggest
what's the
issue
fact
for
was
you.
a we-
That
No,
a
that's
party
not-
is
that's- no.
That's because he's
systematically
it sounds like
and
still
being
suffering
poor,
from
bro.
childhood
We are the
traumas,
only
man.
race
We
that
are
can do that.
That's what
we
that
are
is.
being
That's not
poor.
the age when
You still got a lot of hate, anger towards
you
his
don't go
people.
to forget the Holocaust. You don't do that. We are the only race of people that are told to it was okay. It was a works program. How dare you spit in my
We know
face
that.
like
We
that?
know that wasn't the case.
But that's what they have told
That's
us.
what-
That's what
right.
they're saying.
So do you believe what they told you?
Hell no.
Okay then. So
But
what
you
my
want your children to
so
believe
what
it?
my issue is my kids can that's a
Well,
statue.
how
That has
dare
nothing to do
how
with
dare
it.
you say that?
That was in our history.
As
This
a
is
black
what
man, how
happened.
dare you
This is
say
what
Why
we're
don't you know your children?
This is what we're changing. That was history. Like Martin Luther King
Hey,
was saying.
but you
That was history.
But you
But
okay
you know
with
what?
them
But
glorifying.
We're changing.
but what I
This
don't
is what
think-
we are now as people.
But you know what? And
Not
I
what
hear,
those
and all that
statues are.
sounds good in this moment,
What you
but I
mean?
don't hear any Republicans out on the stomp telling Donald Trump you 100% wrong for messing with the African American Smithsonian.
None of that.
I've not seen a
Wrong.
single Republican on the
As a
record
black man, you should
saying
be
you
offended
out of
too.
order. A single black Republican
Because when they
telling
calling you
him
black, they
you
talking
out
about
of
you.
order
Where you at,
for
Tim
what you're
Scott?
trying to do.
Where you at, Tim
Ain't
Scott?
nobody saying nothing.
Clarence
So
Thomas.
you can say all of that amongst the people, but in the rooms where it count, you quiet as a church mouse. Ain't nobody got nothing to say. Ain't nobody look dead in this man's face as a black man and say, you out of order.
Because
Yes.
they trained and
You
they
out of order.
because they
That's
trained and
just
they
like-
worried
Have you-
because they worried about
If I
taking
was
their
a
locks.
black man,
What would
No,
you
you
release a
wouldn't.
statement?
No, you
release a
would. You
statement?
wouldn't even
I'd
say
tell
it.
you.
Tell us it's out of order.
But you can
Yeah,
release
he
a
don't.
statement.
He don't believe that.
You just trying to make an excuse.
He don't
For what?
believe that. He don't believe nothing
What
he's
you mean?
saying. He's
Like,
saying it
what I made
right
an excuse
now.
for?
For them
'Cause
erecting the statues.
But what I'm saying is that wasn't an issue. The statue, see, we keep going. See what it is. This is what I'm noticing, right?
Oh, Jesus.
We attack issues and deal with issues that's not even attacking the problem of what black communities are actually going through.
So what's the
That's
problem?
what-
Okay, so what's the problem?
So what's the problem?
Well, with us,
Yeah.
economics.
And what?
And
why?
What does that mean?
Economics is the key.
What does that mean, though?
What-
Economics.
Because-
That's a
okay,
response
okay,
to black
so-
conservative
so
would
let's
say.
look at-
Economics.
okay,
Everything
let's-
ain't just economics. And
So
you love keep
let's-
saying
let's-
that.
let's
It's
look at-
economics. It's
let's-
not everything is in
let's look-
economics.
Let's look at the full picture here. If you want to look at the city of Milwaukee to where we
Oh,
was prospering as black. Okay, it's not a
Here we go.
a situation. The reason why the north side of Milwaukee is looking and Midtown the
Love
way
Tech,
and
Milwaukee.
looking the way that it is on the
We
north
got black
side.
leaders. I
But
love
when
it.
you
I
go on
love
the
it.
south
I
side,
love it. We got
it's a
black
totally
leaders.
different element. So when I'm talking about economics and me being a union person, you know, and the way
That's even
that,
more bad.
and the way that I took care of my family and paid my child support is because I had a job. The reason why I was there for my boys and my kids is because I was able to go work, job, and supply for them. We don't have that anymore. Those jobs
So
are
you
gone.
know it's an there.
It's economics is the biggest key thing, Ellen, for
It's an
survival in any
inequality,
race.
though. How could you say that if we don't get the same advantages that they get? How could you say that?
Because
What
that
you
is
mean we ain't get the
strange
same
speech
advantage?
that is
Get
told
that.
to
You're
him to
talking
tell
about
to the people.
yourself.
Economics.
Right.
But
But you
Economics.
say we don't get
What
the
he's
same
saying makes
advantages.
0 cents. We
The
don't.
party was the city of
We don't
Milwaukee
get the same
was-
advantages.
When the city of Milwaukee was prospering where it was, we had black-owned liquor stores, black-owned gas station. My
What do you
God,
think-
dad on
what-
the black-owned
what do you
on
think
a
the
company
income-
was
what do
there.
you think
We
the-
had blacks that worked at L. Smith's, Harley Davidson.
Right now, today, 'cause I don't want to talk about
Right,
other
but that's
stuff.
what I'm saying. You
What
just
do you think the income gap is right now, today?
it's big because ain't no jobs out
With
there. They
black and
gone.
white, no,
Why
among
is
black and
that?
white people, what do you think the income gap is? Percentage.
And what the industry and what industry at? Professional or what?
Just
Is
overall, what do you think?
probably about 20,000-30,000.
Nope. It's probably
Probably
Do it in
about 20,000.
do it in percentages. And if you think
Because-
about even just women, Black women make 59 cents on the dollar for their white male counterpart. Think about it in percentages. Without fail, you can talk about that. Yep, the unions was the heyday for Black people, but again, back to my other statement, we wasn't getting in those jobs until the 70s.
Correct.
Right.
So
Correct.
our wealth was just newly being created,
Being created.
and it was easy to lose.
Then they turn
When
around and
people
strip
started
it.
taking advantage with the housing crisis in
Correct.
2008, which every
Those
other
predatory
racial
loans.
demographic has rebounded from,
Except
but
for the black
people.
race.
Yeah, so it says the wealth gap in 2023, the median Black household had roughly $24,000 in wealth compared to $250,000 for white households. Federal Reserve data.
And I mean,
And that
but
and that
even-
economics,
When you look,
So the income gap.
it
is
ain't no but.
75 to
It ain't no but.
even when you
It's
look
like
at,
Crazy.
Keep
but
trying to
again,
justify.
no, I'm not trying to. I'm
You-
not trying to justify.
You are justified by
What I'm
saying,
saying.
I told you this last week.
It's
You feel
economic.
like that because you base everything on you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have
You
to base
can't-
on.
You can't
No.
base it on
I
you.
base it on what I've been through in my experience and what
You
I
have to
see.
do the math.
I'm right, but what I'm saying is that me negotiation contract. When I negotiated a
You're
contract,
talking
right,
about you again.
right,
You're
right, but
which is a right that has
when
now been
I-
taken
when-
away
when-
from
when I
people.
negotiate,
Getting right.
when I
The very
You weren't
thing
able
that
to
you're
have
saying-
that negotiating.
a contract.
And
It was
now,
for everybody. It wasn't just for black.
You wasn't
Yeah,
negotiating
but
for
that
no
is a
everybody.
Everybody.
No, it
that's the
wasn't.
right, though,
You was
that
in there
has been taken
negotiating
away
yourself.
from everybody except for police and fire.
Right.
It is now like that is not even an option anymore.
I agree. Yes. You're
You know,
right.
so when
That's
we
right.
talk
And
about
I didn't
how
agree
we
with the United
get here-
Steelworkers because the reason why we got here is because when you play politics and both sides play politics, right? It's mind-boggling to me that you have these unions, and I was part of the United Steelworkers, right? And majority of our supporting went towards Democrats, right?
because those were the policies that supported your union.
Your
Exactly.
union.
So that's what they was doing with Democrat. So it's mind-boggling that I see, and then everybody want to attach something to Trump currently because I'm going now currently.
Oh Jesus.
The tariffs. That's why you don't have no union member going against the tariffs or getting some of these U.S. jobs back.
They are going.
They
to-
are against those
No.
tariffs.
What
Yes,
do you
they
mean?
are.
What do you mean? They
Where,
are?
where, you must listen to the truth station all day.
No,
Bro,
listen
Because
to
where
Fox.
you get your information?
Everybody-
Yeah, Fox News.
No,
What do you
No,
get?
no,
What do you get?
look, we got-
Newsmax.
no.
Newsmax.
Let me tell you something. You have to be in a room and negotiate with corporate America to try to get these raises.
But
and this thing.
again,
These jobs was leaving.
if you're gonna talk
Not
about
so
it,
left.
go back to
Everybody
the root.
left.
Why
So
did
then it was
why did all the companies leave and take their businesses?
Because the
Abroad.
TPP, because
No.
the
Why?
the
Uh-uh,
trade
the
with
what?
other countries.
No.
Because
put
our
it-
corporate tax
put
was
it-
like 32%,
put
and you
it
can
out.
go overseas
No,
and
put
get
it-
it for 21
you know
and,
what?
and cheaper
You know
labor.
what? Let's
Cheaper
just
labor,
start.
cheaper labor.
Let's just
That's
start.
what it was.
They
And
don't-
let's just
You
let's be real.
Did you just
The
talk about
minimum
this?
wage is $7.25. How long has the minimum wage been $7.25
Forever.
in this country?
Forever.
These companies were invested in making themselves rich. Their shareholders and the disparity in income between CEOs
Right.
and frontline workers. This was all greed.
Right.
This is all American capitalism
Both
at its best.
Political parties, so let's not
And
put this on
so,
one.
you know,
Okay.
well,
No.
I'm just
It was signed.
The
You know,
by Bill Clinton.
because
was
what
signed.
is happening is that we are now
Come on,
suffering because of the greed that many of these people have. It
Correct.
wasn't enough for them to make $16 million. They needed to make $38 million.
Right.
How do I do that? I need to go over here and pay people in Taiwan $1.14 a day versus paying people fairly for the work they do. So I'm gonna go across the
agree.
world and
I
take advantage
negotiated
of other
contracts. I
people.
agree.
The majority of the people making those decisions are
No,
unfortunately
no,
Republicans.
Come on, man. Y'all tripping.
Yeah,
You're not tripping.
Who signed it?
Wait,
Republicans
Who
hold the
signed it?
most
I'm a
wealth.
fact checker.
Okay, here we
So
go.
Bush signed it.
Which Bush?
Which was a Republican.
Wait.
W. Bush
Wait, the
Thank you.
TPP?
in 2007. No, the Fair Minimum Wage Act.
Before
that's-
you
oh,
even
okay.
get before you even get to
So,
TTP,
It gradually
before you
raised.
even
It
get
was
to
from
it.
$5.15 an hour to $7.25.
And what year
over
was
3
that? What
years.
year was 725 put in place?
Let me give you all of them. So it was $5.85 July 24th 2007, 655 July 24th, 2008,
Okay.
and to 725, which it is still now, since July 24th, 2009.
So think about every single thing we use and touch has gone up in cost.
Everything.
But you cannot get these people, and COVID was a mixed blessing
Correct.
because COVID proved that these companies had been lying.
Yes.
Mhm.
We can't afford to pay nobody $15. We will go under.
They certainly
We
did.
can't afford
Lying.
to do that.
All right.
During COVID, people had jobs for $21 an hour.
Yes.
And many of these companies had to start paying 15 and have not gone back.
Yes.
Or
So-
lost any business behind
Well,
it.
none of that.
So you can't
Corporate
get
greed.
to it's about unfair business taxes. A lot of businesses don't even pay taxes.
Thank you. They got CPAs.
No, don't
No.
So don't say thank you because what we just saw with the big raggedy bill that was just passed
Big rig.
for Donald Trump,
Mhm.
the biggest transfer of wealth in American history. You have taken money from middle class and lower income workers and transferred it by way
Back to the
of tax
1%.
cuts
Yes.
to the wealthiest people in the country.
Correct.
Did you? So y'all read
The
the tax bill?
wealthiest.
Hold on, you read the tax bill.
Say what?
So-
You didn't read the tax
Yes, I
bill,
did.
but we
So-
understand
so
it.
what
And we
I'm
went
saying-
through
Which
what
page?
page?
So-
What page did you
so-
read? What page did
The
you
bill
read?
925
Look,
pages.
You ain't gonna
Which
sit here and
page
say
was
you read
you-
925
you read
pages.
Now,
No,
as they
bro.
say, he ain't read now page.
I read
My grandmama said he ain't read now
Beautiful
page.
deal.
He don't even
Also,
call it that no more.
He don't even
Right.
call it
He
that.
He don't even call it that no more.
He didn't change.
He had nothing to do with it.
He
Where you
said,
at? I'm
he
gonna go
said
Hey,
they
and
was
he
getting
had nothing
burnt
to do
up
with
when
it.
they was going back home in the district and the town halls, and the
Them
Republicans
people
was cussing
lighten
them
them
out.
up.
So he said to fellow Republicans,
Don't call it
it's
that.
not that anymore. It's the America's working.
Some bullshit.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, he don't even
Some
call it Big
typical
Beautiful
stuff
no
that
more.
Republicans all
So you
say
must
just
get
to
the memo.
deflect.
Check the email.
Hey,
Check the
so-
email.
Y'all are
listen,
very much
when you-
entertainers.
when
I
you-
give you
when
that.
When you
Check the
look
email
at
later.
when you
Check the email.
when you look at the corporate side of things.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? Like I say, negotiated contracts. One of the America had
You
their
work for labor.
tax code was really like 32% compared to other countries. Right?
Was what?
No, it's 35.
It was 35.
It was 35.
Well,
But
I know
what does that
32,
have to do with
So-
anything?
So
What are you
as
saying,
she
bro?
said- as she said,
He has no
capitalism.
valid
As she said-
point.
yes,
He's
no,
just
no, as she said,
rambling, man.
capitalism and what they were trying
Jesus
to breed.
Christ.
And that's why I want to make sure that everybody knew that it was under both political parties.
No.
That a lot of companies was leaving, going to other countries, not only for the cheaper
Spearheaded
labor,
by the Republican
just because-
side.
because it was a cheaper.
And what did the
corporate
Republican
tax.
Party do to bring
So
those
then-
companies
So,
back?
so what they did was, but they was bringing the product back. So what Trump did,
Oh,
say, you know
Jesus.
what? So you guys are taking the jobs over there. We're gonna tax you at our border.
But
bring
but
this
but
stuff
but the
back over
hypocrisy
here.
in that,
You know what I'm
because
saying? To
where do
bring
you
stuff
think
back over
Trump
here.
ties and all of the crap he sold before he became president
so
was
we get that.
manufactured?
All that
in
overseas.
Right.
It was
So
all,
he's just
so
more
the
money.
hypocrisy.
But
he
he
was a
lying
part
in
of
his
the very
pocket.
project
Right.
that now he claims he's
So-
trying to
So
solve.
so okay.
Right.
So now
I have never made a black man ride
Right. So
next to
now he's
someone
trying to
else.
say
Really.
it because, like I
No,
said,
he's no,
or
no,
redo it. So now because I negotiated union contract.
He considered
You
Trump
know,
our.
you
He
know,
considered Trump the
what
black
I'm saying
savior.
is, so what I'm saying, when you look at that and you look at what Master
How do
Law
you
did,
sleep at
you
night?
know what I'm saying? Especially you look at Master Law, you look at Harley
With the
Davidson,
picture of Scott Walker.
and you look at these companies that where a lot of black men work at, and a lot of black women worked at. You know, these jobs was individuals that wasn't going to go to college. Everybody's not going to go to college, right?
But why did
Everybody's
these
not- so-
jobs leave? Because of the policies from the
so-
Republicans.
no, it was a policy of both people.
No,
We
it was
just
the,
recognized
no, it was the policies of the
both
Republican. It wasn't recognized as both
Okay.
parties.
people. All right,
This
all right.
all of this, man, this whole shipping overseas manufacturing concept comes from
Well-
Republican-led policy and ideology.
just saying.
Most corporate comes
So,
from
you know,
All I
so
know-
no one- so
Republican.
nobody on the Democratic side had nothing to do.
Of course,
Well,
of
okay,
course,
but-
of
but-
course.
Who was
But-
the spearhead?
Wait.
Can I be
Who's the
like-
spearhead?
Don't get carried
You're
away.
not, you're not validating the point.
want to validate everything that
I'm validating the fact that the policy was
But I
led
guess
by
that-
Republicans.
But I guess at the end of the day, I'm trying to figure out how
The
does
ideas come
all
from
of
them,
the stuff that you push in ideology benefit
Right.
you as a black man in this country.
and it don't.
Well,
Black
the thing,
None of that shit
as a black
benefits him
father,
as a
so-
black man.
So my
Any of the
thing-
views,
so-
whatever
so
conservative
let me-
ideology he
let me-
followed, don't
right,
benefit
Right.
him.
So
No.
He
The
pretended.
things that I do
I want to hear.
and the ideology that I push is really to educate our black men, right?
What are you doing?
So,
What are you
let me-
doing
hold
that's
on, stop.
educating?
So let me. So
What is it you're doing that's
listen.
educating?
Before
So,
you
like,
get to
so when you
wait,
say that, when you say
before
that,
you get to educating brothers,
right?
because I'm assuming now we basing it on your own benefit.
Mhm.
I don't go out and tell somebody to be a part of something if I don't know how it benefits them.
Right.
So how has it benefited you
It benefited me
and your family? How?
to what? To be against abortion?
We're not
How-
talking-
Because what do you say?
Okay.
about benefit? Because
How has
because I-
being a conservative benefited you as a
it
black
made
man?
it made me a better man. It made me
How?
listen. It made me
We are
understand.
listening.
You know what I'm saying? It made me understand
Wait, hold
that I
on.
can't continue to vote. 'Cause I used to vote Democrat. I can't continue to vote for one
Don't
political party.
tell me.
all
Don't
right.
tell me what the Democrats.
it
You don't have a
Tell
justified
me.
reason.
benefited
You
me.
don't
Tell
have
me
no
how
way.
it benefited
It
you.
benefited me to get more in tune with myself, based on Christ.
Tell
my belief.
me.
It made me a better person.
Hypocrite.
Tell
It
me.
made me a better person.
Tell me how it has benefited you in terms
This
of
man
education,
said-
in
Got
terms
him
of
close
healthcare,
to Christ.
in
Got him
terms
closer to
of
Christ.
economics, in terms of owning housing, home ownership. How has it benefited you? Because I can give you examples of what my political ideology has
Right.
done for me.
Likewise.
Well,
How has it benefited you?
well.
Aside from your moral compass,
But
aside from your
right.
moral compass, because you can't eat your moral compass.
right.
He don't have
You
a moral
can't go to
compass.
the
He got
doctor
5
with your moral
broken
compass.
arms.
So
So help me understand how you benefited.
when you say, but when you say benefited me, if I'm looking, if you say, well, I'm a
I
conservative,
okay.
Why are you concerned?
so when I'm a conservative because I don't believe in abortion.
That's
That's
okay,
one.
but
So that's one. No, that's one.
but that's
I'm a
not a
conservative.
benefit. That's not a benefit.
So
That's not a benefit.
Right. So when you
That
say
benefits
That's
you,
not a
that's what I'm saying,
benefit.
me going out,
Help me understand how
I work.
you, as
I
a
go-
black
I-
man, have benefited from these policies.
the
He
policies
He can't judge
that
you.
if you look at the policies that being
You ain't gonna
created,
get
that
an
you say
answer.
the Republicans are
That's a
creating.
whole lot of
Right?
talking. Get
So
to the
you say-
policy.
So if you
Tell
say
me how you
it depends on
benefited.
what policy.
No,
I go
it
out and
doesn't.
work.
Let me give
I
you-
go out and work every
let me
day.
give
I
you-
go out and work. I don't
Wait,
need
let me give you- let me-
I don't need services.
You ain't talking about that.
So tell me-
He ain't talking about that. I told y'all that's why
You said
Be
I'm
quiet,
just
I'm gonna give you an
sitting here.
example.
Right.
Michelle, how has being connected to the Democratic Party benefited you?
Lay it out.
We have gotten the Affordable Care Act, in which more people became insured in this country. We have sought to
That didn't
expand.
benefit you.
Yes, it
You
did.
was on Affordable Care?
I am now.
Oh, okay. I wasn't.
okay.
So,
So I said
Right,
benefited
okay.
me.
Right.
We and
Good for you.
also we have expanded Medicaid. We have expanded Medicare coverage. We have made sure that
but that's
more
benefiting
money.
you though.
That's what she
Again,
said.
It is.
That's the one.
Go ahead.
you know,
Right.
we made sure that my son had accessibility to college in terms of supporting historically black colleges and universities, as opposed to trying to strip the funding and put white folks in place to run HBCUs out of town. You know, I can do this all day. Do you,
Right, but
see the
right,
difference?
but you said,
But do you see the
but that-
difference?
but
I'm giving
But
real
you're not giving a
examples.
response
just
to how
said,
you're
okay, I'm
benefiting from.
not on-
You ain't gave
listen,
no
okay,
example.
I'm not on Medicaid, so I can't give you that. He's stripping Medicaid. So I'm not on that.
Give
I'm
me
not-
You're not at the age
So
to
if
get
that doesn't-
Medicaid.
You know what? I'll give you one example. I'll give you one example.
No, give me
You know
one.
what? I'll give you one.
Don't give me one.
The bill that he created that allow companies now to use the tax code to bring
This
these
one?
jobs back. This one is benefiting my kids because both of my kids work at a job now, and those jobs are coming back.
Oh, no.
What job is that?
What
What job is that? What manufacturing jobs? No, because every week for the last couple weeks I've been coming on this show hearing this bullshit. What jobs is that?
Look,
You are spilling poison when it's all said and done.
no,
You cannot give a reason as to
There's no
how you're
poison.
benefiting
No poison.
as a conservative.
no person.
Okay,
No poison.
Stacey, you are not affiliated with any particular.
With
party.
with
You
no.
are
I'm an independent.
Okay, so
Right.
why do you have your independent views? What has that done for you?
What has it done for me?
Being
Having my independent views, it allows for me to see everything for face value and see how it benefits me and my people as a whole. I don't align myself with anything that's going to affect me, whether it's me in the long term, whether it's me indirectly or directly. So I support ideas and policies that directly and indirectly support me and my people. And the Democratic aspect of it, yes, it has some aspect of it that I'm questioning, meaning that yes, we are too reliant on it, but they are the only ones that's willing to support and continue to support the Black community, and they support me as an individual. Because growing up, yes, since we like to say and go back, talk about things of the past, growing up, those policies in place that the Democrats were coming out with did benefit my mother in the household because it was just her. I didn't have the father figure in the household. And no, it wasn't designed. I didn't view it or see it firsthand that, hey, the welfare system was designed to keep us out. No, I didn't see that, but I know it is because of research and me doing the digging. But the reason why I'm an independent is because of the fact that I like to go with policies that supports my views as well as the people that I'm around. And those people I'm around is the African-American community. And the Republicans has never supported, even when they saying, hey, remember back in the day, the Republicans, no, that was they used us. They has always found ways to use us.
The party
split.
The party's literally flipped.
Yes.
The way that Republicans behave today is the way Democrats behave back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So the party's literally, that's why when they're able to
So they try to
Martin
say
Luther
that.
King was a card-carrying member of the Republican Party, because it was on the cusp of the flip. The parties literally did a literal
Right.
ideological one switch to the other. I mean, that's what happened.
And the reason,
Right.
and to sum it up, my main reason why I am an independent is because, like I said, I don't side with any parties when it comes to my people, but I side with a party that supports my people. So as an independent, it gives me that flexibility. I don't agree with any policies that comes from one side, and I don't agree with policies that affects my people. So being independent, it gives me the flexibility to look at it from unbiased standpoint, because I'm only worrying about how does it affect me as a Black man and how does it affect my Black community. And the policies that's being pushed out right now is doing nothing but destroying and taking away hundreds of years of hard work, not hundreds of years, but 50 of years of hard work that our people, our ancestors, your grandparents that used to work at A.O. Smith, my grandparents
My granddaddy was
that worked hard for.
Yes.
These policies are being spewed that's taken away from it. And so I cannot support anything that runs with that. Do I believe in big government being 100% involved? Absolutely not. Because when the government gets too involved in it, it takes away from the independence of us.
The one thing I will say, is that independence, and this is going to feel like a jab, but it's not, kind of. Because the independents have the luxury of taking that position because the Democrats are taking the critical votes as a unit to make sure we stop some of this other stuff from happening. When Cornel West and Jill Stein came out and said, we running as a third party option,
They shouldn't have did that.
you ain't had no chance in hell of winning.
Right.
No, you-
Like none.
Yeah.
But independents do have the ability to swing an election. And
Yes.
more and more people are catering to folks that identify as independent.
Right. Because
So, but I do
you think
want
people
to
are
be
just
able
fed
to
up?
just tell people that you have the luxury of being independent because you got all these other people voting as a block that's gonna move the whatever the tide is we trying to move.
Mhm.
If all of us sat on the independent line, we would never know how things are gonna play out. Because like in Wisconsin, it's a purple state. 50-50, you can't tell about the makeup of the legislature, but it's 50-50.
Mhm.
And so we have a very slim independent margin of people here. And until we either get more people willing to join you, it is a two-party system in this country.
right.
Like I tried to tell that to the people, the Muslim
But look what
community.
that system, look what that two-party system has done to our nation. Let's just be honest. I've allowed y'all.
No, I got a
So
question
now
for you,
that
though.
allow me to
so
respond.
is it issue? So by you saying that you are independent, is it to a point that you're fed up that you get to a point that
It's nothing about fed
that you
up.
look- because
I
you can
just,
be Democrat.
when it's time for my bills to be paid, I'm not hearing anyone on the Democrat saying, hey, I got this money for you to pay your bills. Or I'm not hearing definitely nothing on
We're
the
not gonna say we
Republican
got the
side
money for you to pay your bills, but what we
But
will
they
tell you
have
is
a
that
line.
we're gonna help you get a higher wage to help you pay your bills.
Of
What we are
course.
telling you is that we
Yes.
will create an environment that's conducive to do business, that to get you access to get transportation, bus lines running back and forth to jobs. And let me be clear, I vote Democrat.
Oh, I
But
vote
I-
Democrat.
But and I am a Democrat, but I will give Democrats the business the same way I give to Republicans. All you gotta do is tune in. We'll tear them up, because the first thing I am before I'm independent, Democrat, anything, I'm black. And I walk in the door
And so
with,
that's
with
why
that.
Exactly, right.
and that's
Exactly.
my main plight as to why I sit in the middle, because
Man,
if
you
it ain't
hilarious.
benefiting us as a people, I don't want to have anything to do with it, because yes, we give our vote all day. All day. I vote every election. I vote Democratic. But at the same time, I feel like now we have allowed for the Republican Party to just
But what you said
Ramstat
is,
and
but what you
Rambat.
said
But
is
why
what,
is it-
but this is, but this is
right.
this is the part that I
Right.
think most people in our community fail to understand. And it was said and it was present in what you just said. I give my vote. I don't leverage my vote.
Thank you.
I give my
You
vote.
gotta leverage your
When
vote.
you
And so as
leverage
the
your
independent,
vote-
you do
Got-
leverage your vote
got-
as
When
an
you
independent,
leverage
because
your vote,
if it ain't benefiting me and mine, no one has my vote. And so as long as it's benefiting me and, my people,
but even
you
that,
have to
but
vote.
even that absolute, because that's what just happened, and why, in part, Trump gets back in office, because the Muslim community that was pissed off about what was going
In
on
Michigan.
over in Gaza,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
it's either all or nothing. You either gonna say you 100% ride with Palestine and two-state solution and blah blah blah, and if that don't benefit my people, then I'm not doing anything. I'm not voting for this policy or for you as a candidate. The thing that I always try to tell people that I try to understand and subscribe is that only on a few things can I afford to be a single issue voter.
Mhm.
And I have to look at the totality. Okay, then you don't agree on this, and this. But if you get in office, what's the damage you're going to do to the other 80% of my life,
Yes.
to the other 40% of my community? Because that's the other thing I also tell people too. When I go into a polling booth, I'm not just voting for Michelle and my grandson Atlas and my son Derek. I'm voting for the Black community too. I'm voting because I got friends that are very wealthy, and they'll tell me all the data says I should vote Republican because of how much money I got.
Mhm.
But I understand my sister ain't got this kind of money.
Right.
My mama, my nephews and nieces that's coming up, they can't weather these policies.
And it's gonna come on you. It's
Yeah,
gonna-
I'll be fine. And so that's the one thing, it's not just what's good for me and mine. In addition to that, I got to think about the rest of these people, some of them who too immature, they don't even know they should be voting, and that the policies that are being designed to hurt you every day.
Yes.
So I go into the polling booth with a lot of things on my shoulders, not just me and what I need, but what we got to have as a community to survive.
But
But we have to
what
look-
point as a Black person that you be like, what I'm saying, we are older, so we have seen this system and we have seen this community and the country transform. And at what point do you get to say, like, you look at it like, well, damn, I'm going to the poll every time, I'm voting Democrat, you know what I'm saying? And things are just not
Can I
getting
ask you a
better for
question?
my people. Yes.
With you working so closely with Scott Walker and many of them disappointing you,
Let's say it right, Scott.
even right now, with Trump doing all he's doing, he doesn't have an agenda for you all at all.
None.
So how are you still in faith with him? And they're showing you
Well,
all.
the one thing with Trump, I can say that I look at is that when I look at
Orange
the
Jesus.
economics element, I'm really about getting some U.S. American jobs here, and I
That-
want to
that-
hold.
But you
right.
see the
And I wanna
focus,
hold-
though. You see, wait, hold on.
I wanna
You see
hold
the-
him
you see
accountable.
the focus
How?
is to Project 2025.
Right.
You see that's the focus.
I get what you're saying with the child 20, but my focus and one of the big things that I'm push that I'm going to hold him accountable.
So I'm
Hold on,
gonna
wait,
get the
wait,
jobs,
wait.
but I'm gonna get rid of
Hold on,
Black
wait,
history.
let me-
I'm gonna get the jobs,
let me
but I'm gonna
finish.
get rid of
Let me
And he
HBCU.
told you
I'ma
what
get
the
the
black
job.
jobs were he was talking
Right,
about.
but let me
he said
finish.
the
And
black
where are these
jobs
jobs
were
at?
Mexican
Where
jobs.
these
My thing is this. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a survival
Where
rate,
the jobs at?
especially in America.
Where the
without
jobs at?
economic-
What jobs
So
was he talking about?
let me
He said black jobs. What jobs was he
I
talking
don't
about?
know.
And what's the black job?
Look, I know you guys asked me about the, what he said, as in, black jobs, as in deported immigrants, and thinking that,
No,
these
you said
hold on.
jobs. Just about jobs.
jobs. My
Where
thing
is
is this, is because, I'm a union guy, worked at a company who goes these contracts. I'm not talking about those jobs.
That's how I know you. In
My
the
issue is this, and where I'm holding him accountable for is that when you look at the tax bill that he signed and giving these companies these tax incentives to bring these jobs back to the U.S. to be able to claim that
So
on their
how do
tax.
you
No.
only look at the tax bill, but then nobody can go to the doctor?
Right. No,
How do you say I'm only looking at
Let me-
the
let me-
job
let me-
aspect of it, but all of it, you want to gut the department?
everybody
of
can go to the
education.
doctor.
No,
Everybody can
no,
go to the
that's the law that
That's a law.
Republicans said.
That's a law. You can go to because you
No,
can
it's
you can
not.
go to the hospital. They
No,
can't turn
it's
you away
not.
for you trying
You
treatment.
know what?
You don't have a video. but you
Again,
can.
that's the
And
that was
that was the reason why.
no,
That's
because
the reason why Obama
Republicans
did
like
Obamacare.
no
That's the reason why
Republicans
Obama
like to
got-
play
Because
semantics
people was going
because
to.
they would always say we're going to give you access to health care, but
That's
access,
state run.
What does that look like?
That's state run.
no,
Healthcare is state run.
Again,
Baptist care is state run with taxpayer
again,
dollars.
you're not
That's
listening.
not federal. Only
You're not
Medicaid is
listening.
federal.
You're
So
not
don't-
listening.
Okay.
Access to health care does not mean you are getting health care.
Correct.
It means you can go in the room, they can diagnose you and tell you what's wrong, but at the end of the day, you ain't got no money to pay for it. Now
That's
we're
why
going to be
economics come in at.
we're going to be making
Gotta get you
different
a job in
decisions about.
healthcare.
But that's
You work a job, you get health care. Badger care
Wait
is
a
a
minute.
state-funded
That's not
healthcare
true.
system.
no, that's
That's
not
not true.
It's not
You
true.
work a job, you get health care.
No, that's not
There
true
are
at all.
people that work for the state of Wisconsin right now that are called LTEs,
They do
limited
not
term
get
employees, who do not get health care benefits.
They're
Nothing.
contractors.
They
No,
they are
they're
regular
LTEs.
employees, but they're called LTEs.
Limited term
They
employees.
do not get health care.
You don't
And
get
they
a union.
set it up intentionally.
Well, we had a
so
union.
they don't have
We
to
had a
pay
union
health
for
care.
state workers. And guess
Y'all
who
stay
did away
get
with
a
the
union.
Act
You ain't no
Guess who was
Republican, bro.
behind that
Nobody
union?
want to pay
Stop
you.
Republicans against the
Nobody wanna
union.
pay you.
Like,
But what I'm
every
saying-
point,
what I'm-
but you don't get the luxury of only talking about one area
That's-
of life.
I totally agree
You
with
don't-
that. You gotta look
you-
at everything.
And if you
You're
look
not,
at
though.
every-
You ain't talking
not.
about
But
one
y'all don't
piece.
look at
And
everything.
you
Now,
feel
y'all
like
look
talking
at- y'all
about
look
that.
at this piece and this piece and don't put everything together too.
What did
Both
y'all
sides do it.
What did y'all say? Why hasn't milk and butter gone down like he promised? And the price of eggs.
Look,
Where is that at? Because I
Look.
went to the store.
That man
the
is
other day.
$2.
Hey, ask that man.
$2.32
No,
at
where you-
Walmart.
where-
At
where-
Walmart.
But now
They
my
went down.
but now but
$2.32
now
at
but
Walmart.
now
Wow.
my scarf from Temu costs $300, but my eggs is $2.
Make it in the U.S.
Right.
Make it in the U.S. It comes
Right.
over that border.
We
it's your
can't
tax.
afford to make it
You
in the
can't
US
make
for
it
that
in the
money.
US because they gonna whack it.
We
Right.
can't
You gonna
afford to
put
make
the
it.
price.
Because we gotta pay. That's because y'all want $15 an hour. So that it's going. We of course we're gonna charge more.
Well, wait a
But
minute.
if you break
It's
across
not
that border,
that-
we
it's
gonna
not-
tax you.
But wait a
We
minute.
gonna-
Look at what you
I'm
just
sorry,
said.
we gonna
Y'all want $15 an hour aid like that's unreasonable or unfair.
Thank you.
Well,
It should be done. Do you
Thank
understand
you.
what the
Nah.
average pay for a CEO is in this country?
I get that.
It's
When I-
madness.
Let me go back to that $15
It's
an hour.
madness.
When I say $15, I'm talking about.
$15 an hour. is
Nah,
I
acceptable.
think at any job,
That's a
minus fast food
That's
restaurants,
bullshit.
where
No,
I no, listen,
No.
I know what you're gonna say.
this is
man.
my issue with that.
What?
Fast food restaurants and making them pay $15 an hour. Those jobs was for kids coming out of high school to keep
And you
them
know
busy.
what? And because
Now you
other
got
jobs
parents
dried up,
Right.
that's right.
So
Jobs, so
you got
everybody had
kids
to
in the
work.
street.
You're trying to make a
Stealing
way.
cars.
Oh,
doing all this other stuff, 'cause
God.
They ain't got no job.
Come on, man.
Because you got everybody
Come
running
on,
out
man.
of McDonald's job.
Because the other jobs went away.
Be real.
We trying to
Be
break
real.
it back.
Be
Be
real.
fair.
told
Go
you
ahead.
There's someone
Be real,
somewhere saying that you shouldn't have your job because you're a felon. You shouldn't be able to do half of the things that you've done because
Who
you're a
said that?
felon.
Who? It's certain people to say that, but
No,
like,
someone else should be
Yeah.
that's more qualified that doesn't have a record
Good.
like yours should have your
Good.
way.
I know I got hired because I was all the way in
Part
93
affirmative
I got
action.
hired.
But okay.
because of my experience in 19 years at Bridges Stratton.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm
Like it's
telling
like
you,
any education person can have.
you
I didn't
made
go to school.
you made poor
I had 19
choices.
jobs experience.
You-
I had 19 years experience at Bridges Stratton
You-
to do what I do. So
you-
what I do at my job now is similar to what I did at Bridges Stratton
You
with
keep making
SAP and all
excuses
that.
for you.
So I'm not understanding.
For someone else that hasn't done anything, has a good work ethic, a work record ethic, everything.
Right.
You shouldn't deserve that over them. Why?
I'm
So
missing
why?
your
What
point.
makes, I'm
You
saying,
missing
why do
point.
you
It's point right
continue
there.
to say? who isn't deserving of things? I don't
I'm not
understand.
saying that people
You
is not
are
deserving
saying
of
that.
things. Just
I
like
still
I'm
want
not
you to point
saying
me to
that
where the
people are not
jobs
deserving.
are.
You just said $15 an hour.
No, I said $15 hour because I don't want
Who are
14.
you?
Right, but I'm just saying that's just right. You agree? I agree with
Who
that.
are you?
I agree with that. But this is my belief. This is just my opinion.
So I'm telling you that
Right.
someone else's opinion
Exactly.
that you shouldn't even be in the running for anything.
Everybody has their own opinion, and as you can see,
so when they
that
tell
whoever
you
get
that-
their law, whoever get in office, is based on their opinion.
But you
who
still
they feel they
also-
gonna follow
Is
to
that
get in
logical to you?
office.
Is that
But-
logical
But what
to
I'm
you?
saying is,
I'm asking you, is that logical to you?
what you mean? That
That
people
they
have
have
opinion?
an opinion like that and they want to put
Yeah, everybody
that
has their own opinion. I don't care about that.
But it's not about just
What
one
you
person's opinion. That's what I'm trying
It's
to
everybody have their own opinion. I'm not
It's a
gonna stop
million
that.
people's
But-
I'm not
opinion.
gonna stop people that don't have their own
If
opinion
it
because they
doesn't work
should.
for
But-
the masses, you shouldn't be trying to push it on
It
everyone.
ain't what I'm saying is when I take $15 an hour or telling these restaurants like McDonald's and Burger King that they need to pay $15 an hour, then you wonder why.
But they make that money though. But they make the
But
money
you
though.
wonder why this go up. What I'm saying,
make the money.
what Big Macs and all stuff going up. What I'm saying is that those entry level jobs, I agree that certain jobs definitely should have increased their pay, but these jobs, like you said, jobs had dried up. These jobs was to help kids that was
Do you
coming
know-
out
But
of
do
high
you,
school.
do you
How much
understand
to get
that?
into
You
the
don't-
workforce?
But wait a minute.
He like to
$15
say
an
economics,
hour.
right? But
To
don't
somebody that's
understand the
16,
laws of
16
Yeah,
years
you know
old.
what? Listen.
Since you want to
Because
say
wait, because
economics,
but here's the thing.
What?
That 16-year-old, how much they paying for shoes? How much are they paying for a
$200,
bus pass?
$250,
How much are they paying for their
$40
graduation
for
fees?
bus pass.
So everything
Graduation
that
fees, $500,
16-year-old
$600.
has gone up year after year after year.
Triple.
Class ring, Letterman's jacket, all of the regular things that some of these kids don't even have help with
How much they
to
are?
be able to get.
Stuff, how much
But them
that stuff cost?
shoes that they buying, all of that stuff costs money. That's going up every year. Why wouldn't your salary go up? Just because you in an entry level job, everything that you're purchasing is going
I
up.
totally agree with that.
So you don't want
Don't buy
somebody.
no Jordans.
So when but
Why you making Jordan rich?
I'm
He
not
ain't putting the
buying
money in the
Jordans.
community. But go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm just listening to you say about the kids get.
You talking about Travis here?
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah, go ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
Joey, man. That's the pleasure
JoJo?
of the show.
Hey.
I give nicknames.
Yeah, that's what I grew
See what I'm
up
saying?
on.
See what I'm saying? Nicknames.
So just listening to you,
He drinking on
just listening to you say
That get no soda.
the
Like-
job,
soda. You know that ain't no soda. That's his stuff too.
the job was designed for kids coming out of high school, not
Right.
somebody grandmama.
Right.
So these people can't retire. Now they want to retire 70 years old.
Right, I
They can
agree.
retire now. They at McDonald's just because it paid me just enough on top of my Social Security, $15.
So you won't make that much.
So you
You
ain't
cut
making
off.
nothing. So I'm saying it's really to their point, and you're against your argument that $15 McDonald's is okay. That that minimum wage is okay. It's not. You can't. If I'm by myself, I can't afford a 1-bedroom apartment on 40 hours. Actually, I can't afford a studio. I live in Oak Creek, man.
Are you talking about? So let me just get your question right. So you said, Greg. So we're talking about the elderly's working at these jobs.
Because you said it was designed.
Right. Exactly. That was designed. Right.
The argument to raise minimum wage is now you have someone's grandmother working that same job. I have
Right.
A great uncle working that same job.
Right.
It's if you walk into most McDonald's right now, everybody's over 30
Because they trying to make
because they're trying to make something work.
Right.
So just to your argument, the whole it was designed, but yeah, the design was cool, so it changed now.
Right.
We need to change something else.
Right. And
I
then
think
to
you
your
also
argument,
need to be,
to your
honest
argument, let me
about
ask you
the
a question.
design.
So
It was
to your
designed
argument,
that way.
right? So to your argument and what you're saying, as in the older people working there,
Mhm.
and trust me, they wasn't supposed to be working at these element jobs because a lot of maybe they worked at these jobs and they should have retired at whatever company they worked at if they worked at a company.
Oh, man.
No, listen. No, what I'm saying, you know,
So number one,
but these, but
the return.
right.
So like,
Right. So
but
these
even-
companies left, right? These companies, a lot of these companies left.
but
when
the
you had these
companies
older
that
people
stayed, you moved
that
the
left.
retirement age
So
from
now,
62 to
right,
70.
right. So now what
to get
happened
your
was,
maximum payout.
now what happened was is that these older people now got to kick these kids out and now they're taking these jobs.
No,
I'm not
That's
saying
not-
anything
So,
not-
as in,
but the first thing,
I'm not saying
What's that?
anything
the
as
first
in
part of
the
your
older
argument
individuals
is flawed.
working. I agree with that. You know what I'm
Very
saying? They
flawed.
only can make so
The
much,
first part of
or
your
they gonna get kicked off
argument-
Medicaid or Social Security.
The
I get
first
that.
part of your
But what I'm
argument
saying is that
flawed.
if you look at what we got going on within our community now, and we look at the younger generation and what we're dealing with the younger population, right? We're looking at that. You can look
Okay.
at and say a causal effect that you just said is that now these kids are not in these elements of
Travis,
these
do you know
jobs,
where
right?
the kids are?
Right?
Do you know
You know what
where
I'm
the
saying?
kids are?
Hold up, right?
Do
Oh,
you
listen.
know where the kids
Wait,
are?
let me
I'm
finish.
gonna tell you where the
So,
kids
so,
are.
so you when you see that, right? So then I agree. I understand that the older people are working at these jobs. I'm just saying that these jobs was made for these
they
kids.
were not made for these
Wouldn't-
kids.
Travis, the
They
kids,
were
wouldn't
not.
be off
They were
the
not
street.
made for them.
and they'll be
They
within
were
these
not
married
made for
Travis,
within these
the kids are
restaurant
at home
type of
watching
stuff
their
doing that.
siblings because their parents can't afford childcare.
I totally
That's
agree
where
with
the
that.
other
Or
part
they have the jobs
But-
that has the higher
but
level that
Travis,
they're working at. They're
Hold
not
on,
working at
hold
that.
on, bruh. Because
They're not
first
working
of
that job.
all- First of all, I
Travis.
always say you got to start at the beginning.
yes.
These
You like to
jobs
go
were
in the
not
middle and
intended to be
between.
for children.
No, they wasn't.
This was
Never.
a company that used
I-
a plan to be able to pay people less wages
I don't
than
know.
they would have had to pay a
When I
regular
grew up,
person,
it was all
adult coming
kids.
through that
That's
door.
working. All teenagers and kids
that
and
was
20 years
but
old.
that
You
was the
legally couldn't work
nonsense
that
that I
job
until
told
you
you.
16.
Right, but I worked at McDonald's.
Because the work is still the work.
Right.
Right.
And it's no different than if you work at Capitol Grill or anywhere else. Nobody telling people at Capitol Grill you should only be making $7.25 an hour because you understand the work is still the work.
Right.
What they did was they set up a model to make it seem like it was for kids so they could justify paying them significantly less.
You remember the
Just-
step up program? You remember the step up? Anybody remember the step up program? Anybody remember the step up program? You remember the step up
Let
program?
me just give you one last piece of
Go
that.
ahead.
There are only 2 occupations in the state of Wisconsin that don't require you to pay somebody minimum wage.
And those are
That is tip waitresses,
Yeah.
tip waiters,
Bartenders.
and migrants who work on these farms.
Bartenders.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
you said
not
tip
bartenders.
waiters. You said tip waiters. That's the same
Tip
thing.
wait. Yeah.
That's covered up.
And so, why would I walk in Denny's every day and not be guaranteed a minimum of $7.25 an hour? Because you're not. If you the waitress, the person in the back in the kitchen, they not tipped. So they gonna get their $7.25 or whatever they make for coming to work. But that person on the floor, we depend on the community to pay your wages. That was done by design, bro, because it typically had been women in those roles and they didn't value paying women as much. But don't go around spouting these were entry-level jobs intended for children.
Any high
These
school
are jobs
any
intended
high school kid
to
right
pay
now that's
people.
16 to go work, guess where they're going to work at? Thank you. Because they have no work skills.
It ain't no work.
No work
Look,
skills. When they 16 years old in high school, you have no work skills.
You
So
can't
you
work.
You
go
know where- you
you
know
go
where-
work
you
at
know
the
where-
fast food
you know-
restaurant
you
and
know-
you build
you
your
know where 16
work
year olds are working at?
credibility to
16
get you
year
where you need to be at, right or wrong?
16-year-olds
Okay.
are
All right.
16-year-olds
Right.
16-year-olds are working at meat plants. When COVID happened and nobody could
gotta talk about this.
Trump then was ordering who had to show up for work. They ordered that people had to show up in the meat plants. What they found out is a lot of them was kids. Down in Florida, they just changed the law so that kids can work third shift jobs and that they can go
Wow.
to school at any time during the day.
wow.
Kids traditionally in this country have worked. We had to put laws in place to protect children from what time they could show up for work and what age we could start
Agree.
working them.
So you
Agree.
got a
So,
work permit.
that's what I'm saying. You
Right,
gotta
work
be
permit.
careful
I had to
when you're
get one.
talking about some of this stuff like this, the way it is, and this is how. No,
No,
it wasn't
right.
like that. That's why Jeffrey Epstein and them Epstein
Taking
files and
taking
all the
it
men
back.
and stuff would mess with them little
That's
kids
why I was
because
saying
they used to be able to do
those
that.
jobs, what I'm saying, those jobs was getting introduction of individuals from high school. You go to high schools right now, you talk to kids and you see what they go, I'm gonna give me a job. Where you going? I'm gonna go to Clover's or I'm gonna go to McDonald's.
Because
I'm
those
gonna go
are
here.
the only jobs
Right,
that they
let's
can
go to hire.
legally of
Those-
age
Bro,
work at.
Right.
Bro.
Those are the jobs that are entry level that have no work
It has
skills
nothing
that
to do
you
with
building
entry-level.
or you're
Let me
building
ask
your
you-
work ethic off of that. But then now those jobs isn't there anymore
Let me ask you
because they're being taken over by
Let me ask you
individuals that have 3 or 4 kids.
I got a question.
Like you just said, older people. So those jobs are now those kids. So then now what you have kids on Brown Deer that shit
What
could have
you-
been at
what you're
work,
saying is
having
like
a
it's
whole
the fault
party
of the people
and
that's
situation
working.
transpired.
What you're
You
saying
know what I'm
is
saying?
like it's
See
the
how the
fault
connection
of
goes?
jobs, man.
And
You
That's
are
the connection.
saying it like
That's
it's
the
the fault
connection.
of the
It's not-
people
it's
that
just-
have to
just-
go
I'm not
work.
saying everybody.
bro.
I'm just saying that. I'm
You
just
just
saying the
blind
connection within the
and lie.
community.
That's what he do.
It's all connection.
Ain't no
I'm not lying
connection.
about
You
it.
ain't
Let me
putting
ask
no
you this.
connection.
Let's get some young people in
You
here
a bunch of
and see what the young people
Let me ask you
say
this.
when you say, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna go. I just got out of high school. I just got
Bro.
out of high school. I got a half a day.
Bro.
I'm gonna go get me a job and see what they say or where they're gonna go."
Let me ask
Let's
you.
ask them.
Let me ask you this. Let me.
You in school?
Let-
You in school at Madison?
Let me
Where are
ask
the
you
kids
this.
that you're talking to right now saying that they're gonna go get us a job
Let me ask you
or
this.
a part-time
because-
job? What they said they're gonna get a part-time job at?
Bro, hold on, wait a minute.
That's all I'm saying.
Bro, listen.
I'm not
You-
gonna respond to that
I know.
idiotic
Go
ass
ahead.
statement. The shit coming out your mouth don't even deserve.
Where?
it.
So do you tell them to go work? Do you tell them to go get a job?
Out your mouth
Right.
makes 0 sense.
Okay.
We have
Are-
to factor in legal
are-
laws
Right.
for where students
Are-
are able
You're
to
in school.
legally work.
You work in the
So if they're
school.
legally only able to
Are
work
you
in
helping them to get a
school,
job, and where you
make
helping them
their
get a job at?
law, those
And they
things of that
16.
nature.
Where?
If they only legal, we are basing it off the legal age of requirement from laws that they are able to get jobs.
15 and a
So
half to get a
those are
job here in
restaurant
Wisconsin.
jobs. Those are mall jobs where they are legally able to work.
Right.
They're not legally able to work in manufacturing, but guess
Right.
what? They're teaching in the schools. They are teaching them about the manufacturing trades, all these
Tech
carpentry
did
trades.
that all the time.
All
What's
of
that?
Got a question.
Yep.
Got a question though. Still,
What
with that.
you're talking about, the reason why I don't want to entertain it is because you just saying shit out the side of your neck and talking about.
Okay,
connecting
I don't know.
You're
Go
not
ahead.
connecting.
I'm
no
not
pieces,
understanding
'cause
what
you're
you're saying.
leaving out pieces of information.
I'm not.
When you're talking about,
If I'm 16
You are
years old, I'm at
Madison,
high
and
school,
you're
and I want to
talking
go
to
get
the
a
kids.
job. Where I'm going to get a
they're only
job
going
at?
to talk to you about a job that you're fucking legally able to work at. Why am I talking to you about a manufacturing job?
I'm not saying that.
But you're
We're
not
not talking.
able to get at that moment.
But
You
we're
said,
not talking
what
about
am I talking-
manufacturing.
and telling
His
the
question
teachers.
wasn't
You
manufacturing.
kept talking about
His
we're
question
not
was-
talking about his question anymore. We've
How come
been
we was?
off
I
of
thought
that
we was.
subject. We're talking about. We're not talking about his question. We weren't even on that anymore. We're talking about where you're saying you're connecting the dots, talking about where are you teaching kids? You're telling kids about jobs, and we're about restaurant jobs. Those jobs are designed. No, you're only
Thank you.
teaching kids and telling kids about jobs that they're currently able to get at this moment.
Right. What
While
jobs are
at the
those?
same time,
What
they're
jobs are those?
training them, telling them about, it's not just restaurant jobs.
Okay, what
You
jobs
can
are you
work
talking?
in, you can
They
work
15
in,
and a half. Where they working at?
15 and a half. They can work at the clothing stores. You got all of these clothing
Right.
stores. You have the malls. You have grocery stores.
First
So
job
it's,
is yours.
it's not
I'm
just
right.
restaurant jobs.
It's not
So
right.
When you're saying adding all these connections, like you proving a point, you're making a connection, but leaving out loops and shit. Come on.
No,
bro.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
but
answer his
even,
question.
well,
Go ahead. He got another
But
question.
here's a quick example of where else kids can work. So we see high schools now that have trade programs.
Yep.
I got 16, 17-year-old young men who actually work for MPS in the trades that are plumbers,
Yep.
that are electricians
Yep.
at 16 and 17 years old.
Yep.
I now have, because
Went to Milwaukee
of
Tech.
dual enrollment, I have kids that are in high school that are going to MATC and getting an associate's degree before they even get their high school diploma.
Yes.
We literally had a girl get her associate's degree on Wednesday and her high school diploma on that Thursday or Friday because of dual enrollment.
Yes.
So the world is changing. We're not supposed to stay stuck at your only option was to go work in fast food because
Right.
of technology. We got social media influencers. I was at an event on Saturday where I had an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old that are authors who have a YouTube channel who are selling books online and on Amazon. So it's not the old way of thinking about the only job you're going to go get is some entry-level job, working at McDonald's. The world is changing, bro.
No, I get it.
To
Right.
keep framing it that way it's
What
not relevant anymore.
only reason I'm not framing it that way. What I'm saying is that you have these kids that's coming out of high school, right? So they have to come into an entry level job. Yes, they're all technology is out there. You know what I'm saying? Influencers, social media, yes. But what I'm saying is that what his question was is that you have these older people
right?
working these jobs, these certain jobs. It could be right. I get that. So what I'm saying is that a lot of these entry level jobs that are coming out when you're looking at kids,
But
a
you-
lot of these kids say,
But
okay,
you have to
I gotta go,
question
I'm gonna
the
go work.
policy that created the situation.
Thank you.
That's
He's-
what I was
he's
saying.
not-
You gotta,
He's
yeah.
not-
Right, exactly.
And
Exactly.
so just this
You just said that they created this.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right.
go ahead.
No. You said it right. You said it right.
I That's what I was getting at. We're gonna go back to the catalyst of it all,
Right.
and it's the policy that has someone's grandmother.
Yes.
Because,
Jobs left. Yeah.
because a job left or the job
They
that's
leaving,
here just
right.
don't pay enough.
Exactly.
Not that they trying to kick the shorties out. Like, I'd rather go with a little more seasoned. If it's customer service, you're an adult, you want to speak to people.
Exactly.
So I'd much rather have you frontline than have a 15 or 16-year-old frontline.
Right.
I'm in the store today and they back there cussing and talking about a party. I'm like, y'all got customers. But it's the shorties though. So I'm like, I guess it's all about, it goes back to training. But guess where they mamas in work all.
That's how my mom was. Yep.
To your point, I'm with. I want you to understand.
And that-
I'm with you. I get where you coming from. That just don't make what you're saying. I'm just getting that.
Right.
Like, yo, everybody got to grind. You know, when you grind so much, you get dull and it's worn out. So that's. But
I get what you. I get what you said. I get what you said. It's all about the policy, and that's why. And that's why I'm so adamant about the jobs that's going to pay well. We're coming back within this community instead of these jobs arguing about these jobs. We got to focus on getting jobs to where we ain't got parents.
What
They
jobs
not
are
coming.
coming back?
But-
They
but-
not
Jobs
coming.
coming back.
But we don't have.
And that's my question.
They not
And that's
coming.
my
Right.
question because
And then
you
that's
never,
They're not coming.
you never ever
They're not
answered
coming.
about your orange Jesus bringing these jobs back. Where are the jobs and where are the Epstein files? But where are the jobs?
They coming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
They not
never
coming.
concept of the plan.
They're not
They
coming.
coming. They
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, and they eat,
I guarantee
cats
you.
and dogs.
I guarantee you
Yep.
there'll be some announcements here in
And
Wisconsin
even when
about some companies that's coming. Prime example.
Bull.
Prime
Bull.
example. No,
Bull.
prime example. When Scott Walker was
Bull.
here,
Bull.
when Scott Walker was governor,
Bull.
the although I know they're gonna say people gonna say something about the Foxconn deal, but with Scott Walker, but with hold on.
No, please
But,
don't.
but
Please
when
don't.
Scott Walker was here,
Please don't.
we had the
Oh.
and although this is on the world area, this was you had the candy company that came, you had Uline that came.
They was not
you
here
know,
for
Uline
Milwaukee.
paid $30-some
They
an
did
hour.
not bring
You
jobs
had
to
all these-
Milwaukee.
Hold on, let me finish.
I want you to finish.
Wait, let me finish.
Have you ever been in Uline? I just want to. Have
Nope.
you ever been in Uline?
To
Nope.
see
Yeah.
who's working there.
Yeah.
Who's working there?
Yes. Yes.
Uline is a
Yeah.
Repu-
Yes.
Uline is
It
a
ain't- hold on.
Republican-owned
Hold on,
company.
wait. Hold on.
Uline is
Ask
a
me a question.
Republican-owned
Can I answer the question?
You sitting there anyway.
Can I ask a question?
When you went in there, what'd you see?
Who's in Uline?
It's not a lot of blacks.
It ain't not.
It is. Yes, it is.
It's about three.
Yeah, it is.
It's about three.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
It's not
three.
Right. You just said it now. Now,
You
but the cap. But I didn't. Hold on. Wait.
So when you say the jobs are coming,
So-
the jobs are coming for whom?
Wait. Hold on. Let me finish.
But all of
So-
the frontline workers,
Hold
what
on.
color they are?
Let me
Looking
finish.
just like you and I.
Let me
Come on,
listen.
man.
Listen. Let me
Caravan.
finish.
That's them
Right.
caravans on their way
So
here.
I get what you're saying. And I
That's
get what
just
you're
the
saying, and that's
plantation
why I
all
brought
over
up.
again.
That's why I brought up.
And he's the
That's why I brought up. That's why I brought up Uline, and that's why I brought up the
You brought
candy
up
company.
Uline. Why? You
No, no.
gave that the jobs are coming.
Wait.
These are not
That
jobs that
wasn't
are
why-
benefiting our community.
Right, I get that.
These are my Foxconn
No,
and stuff.
no,
But
let me
that
finish.
got nothing to do with
So
Milwaukee.
you're
You
right
know it.
about what you said as in the jobs coming to the rural area of Kenosha and Racine. There are a lot of blacks who work there. They should have got some of the jobs in Uline. I'm not knocking you that. So what I'm doing and what I'm holding accountable to my party and the Trump
They're eating cats
administration
and dogs.
is to redevelop
That's what
and
he
bring
be
these
saying.
jobs that company that are now announcing. Because when they're in you got these companies, when you got company and you got this tax incentive for these companies to bring these
once
jobs.
again
Hold on, wait.
helping out the
No.
rich.
See,
No job.
Can you? Yeah, me and you here, right? So when you got these companies, right? You got these people
But you
that
said there can be no hiring initiative.
when
There
you
can
got
be no
these
hiring
people
numbers, no
coming, right? And you got these
DEI,
companies saying that they're going to utilize
and we're going to make
these
sure you
tax
don't hire
incentives
black folks
to get these
because
jobs
we're
to
getting
come
rid
here,
of
right?
all
So then you
DEI
now,
efforts.
just like you had individuals advocating for those jobs for Uline to
Why
come
they
over the
gonna start
border
something new?
and
Why
the
they
candy
gonna
to come
start
on
something
new.
new? Have they been
I
doing
know,
this?
I know,
They've
I
not
know.
done this.
Jobs
Look,
are coming.
I know that my advocation should be
Means
is that
nothing.
I need
It
something
ain't
Your
gonna go
advocacy
nowhere.
means
the city of
nothing.
Milwaukee.
It
I need
means
there.
nothing.
You gotta
It
have
ain't
somebody
getting nowhere.
It
advocating.
means
Yeah, so
nothing.
if that's the case,
You'd have to
where the city should do, where you got, hold on, wait,
It
where you have the
means
city, you got these elected
nothing.
officials here, you got all these elected officials.
Means nothing.
Instead of being like,
Thank you.
Means nothing.
I don't want the feds here, I don't want the feds here, I don't want the feds here. Wait, you just signed this tax bill, and they're saying that these companies said they're invested. Let's go to this company right here. Let me be you the president. You have a relationship. Let's go holler at this company and say this company, hey, I want you to build. I want you to build right here.
How many
Call
black
them to the
people
table.
are working in the Trump
Put it out
administration?
there on the plate. You get what I'm saying?
How many black people are working in the Trump administration?
Then we hold them accountable as an election bot.
You can't.
Right. So right.
When he tried, both of them failed both times.
No. Hold up. Wait. Right. No. So wait, hold on. No. So PK. So two things happened that I did. Two things happened I did. The Bucks Arena.
Oh,
I did that. I was part of that. Okay, the Oscar. Hold on.
You did what? You did
He said
what?
he
Hold on,
bought
wait,
black
wait.
Wait a
jobs.
minute. You did what?
He bought
Me
jobs
and Scott
from the
Walker, we
Bucks.
sat down and had a whole
Boy,
conversation.
let me stop you right there
Go
with
ahead.
your delusion.
Go ahead.
Because I worked in Lena Taylor's office.
Right. And she was against it. At the beginning to Common Core. When Common Core went to Latino.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Because let me help you.
Yeah,
and
help
be
me.
real clear. Because you couldn't get a vote for nothing
Thank
for
you.
the Bucks.
thank you.
It was Lena
Thank you.
and Democrats who could offer up the votes to be able to get the deal done.
Thank you.
And so it was the pressure that they applied. Now you might have had a conversation.
No, the
but
Democrats
you
had to
ain't
get
made
involved.
nothing move.
But the
You
Democrats
didn't
had to
make
get
nothing
involved.
move.
Man, that wasn't
No.
tough.
I was
Okay.
in the room playing.
Let me tell you
You
something.
didn't make nothing move.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Huh?
You,
No, wait.
in the room.
Listen.
He
Hold up.
outside
Hold up.
with the
Hold
note.
up. Time out. Time out.
He was the nigga taking the note.
What did
Hold
you
up.
want?
Time out. Time out. Time out.
Why you always
You didn't have no
Boys,
votes.
They're
but let me tell you
No
something.
votes.
The
You had no
Republicans
votes.
They're
and the
eating
Republicans
dogs.
was not going to give $250
Eating
million
dogs.
to the new
Who
bus
live there.
owners that was billionaires that came in and bought the team. They bought the team for $550 million. The only reason that the new owners didn't want to sell a team back to the NBA.
Travis,
The
so
NBA
what
was
you
gonna buy the
said
team.
is not true.
Who's the usher?
Why was that true?
Travis.
That's why he came in the room. He was
Who
at the
Who
door.
said that wasn't true?
You can start with me. So let me.
I
just-
wasn't in.
He
Let me-
was
hold
in the
on.
room.
I wasn't.
He was
saying-
pouring the coffee.
Let me listen.
Boy,
Listen.
If they wanted
Listen.
water.
Listen. Hold up.
You was in the back.
No, listen. Let me.
No, he was
Let me-
asking them,
let
do
me-
they want
let me-
water
let me-
or do
let
they
me explain
want
something to you.
paper,
He was in the
plastic?
bathroom.
Let me explain
He's in the
something
room
to
in the
you. Right?
bathroom.
Let me explain something to you.
I want to hear.
Although,
Travis.
yeah, Lena Taylor, 'cause I'm
Travis.
not an elected official. She wasn't for elected official.
Travis.
But let me tell you how Republicans work, and y'all should know this.
I'll tell you how
They'll put that.
Republicans
Y'all
work.
can be in the room with elected officials.
How many black
but
people work in the
private
Trump
meetings go-
administration?
Oh, you was in the private.
How many black
Hey,
people work in the
There's
Trump administration?
a whole different other thing because Kenosha
How
wanted
many?
the casino. The Indians wanted the casino. Kenosha. It was two deals on the table:
Travis,
the casino in
when
Kenosha
you get
and the
done
Bucks Arena.
hollering, when you get done hollering,
He was only gonna do one.
how many black people work in the Trump administration right now? See, I'm not
I don't look
talking
into
about
that. I don't care. It ain't black and white.
we
I don't
don't
look at
never-
that.
Oh, you need to look at that.
No.
He don't
It's
look at
about.
that.
It's about.
And he the
It's
darkest
about.
brother in the room
It's
right
about
now.
conversations and doing something. Like I'm like, oh, I need to have more blacks with me.
It's not about I need to have more blacks with me. It's I need to hire fairly. If they don't hire fairly in the administration, if we're not represented in the room, then why do you think all of a sudden people gonna give a damn about if you got a job for the brother on the corner back in the community?
Thank you.
You live
Your own people that Democrats don't give a fuck if you got a job in the community. Look at the
Not
city right
true.
now.
Not
Look at
true.
the city right now.
Not- hey,
Look at the city right now. bro.
Leaders in
if
charge.
I could just
That's the only
get
The
time
you,
city's been ran by who for how long?
if I could just get you
You got
Come
black
on
leaders
now.
in
to
charge.
Come on
answer
now.
some basic questions.
Come on now.
They don't know
Look at
how
the
to
city, bro.
I asked you how did you benefit? I
Yes.
couldn't get no real answer.
All thing I said,
Other than abortion, I couldn't get no answer.
I'm a conservative. I'm
It's about being Christ.
I am conservative.
When
Let me just
You're
say,
not
I
a conservative.
conservative
Donnie,
because of my
You do
religious
is
belief.
contradictory of
and I
what
work.
the
I
conservative
do what I need
is.
to do. That's what
Donald
I do.
Trump has gone through and systematically fired damn near every black person that was working in that White House, from the head black woman
The
that
head
was
usher?
running the whole bunch, whatever
Yes,
she was.
yeah, the head
that had
usher.
worked under all these different presidents.
Correct.
You see them damn meetings, cabinet meetings. It's one black secretary, and that's
Right.
the Secretary of
Ugh,
HUD.
that's
That
all we
both
ever get.
Democrats and Republicans. That's the only thing we can ever be the secretary of most of the time.
Right.
But Travis, there is nobody in the room advocating for us. There's nobody in the room pushing our agenda. There's
What is
nobody.
our agenda? I got a question. What is our agenda?
Hold on.
What is our agenda?
What's Trump
Hold
agenda
on.
first?
What is our
You
agenda?
in that
Hold
room
on.
talking
Because you said there's
for us.
nobody
You know
pushing
what
out.
our-
What is our actual
I'm
black
going to tell you what
agenda?
our agenda is.
Yes.
To keep historically black colleges and universities funded, and
What
not
about
have,
the people that
and
don't go
not-
to college?
and not have white
What about the
folks-
people that don't go to college?
We
That-
don't-
Wait,
we getting there.
But we
Go
getting
ahead.
there. But we
Go ahead.
getting there.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, what? That's just like ignorant, bro.
I know. Just go ahead though.
Jesus.
Everybody say, "Oh, we gotta support the black college." I get that, but everybody's not gonna go to college.
Okay, but for the ones that do, we
Right.
gotta make sure that.
But
they
what
still
about the ones
exist.
that don't? What they gonna do at?
You
get
can
ready
do
to-
both.
Okay, go ahead.
You can do
All
both.
right, go ahead. Do that. Go ahead.
You know, I swear to God, this Jim Jones moment you having right now with this damn Kool-Aid, I can't.
It's sickening.
No, my
It is
thing.
crazy.
No, my thing.
Like
No.
literally,
It's
we,
sad.
you know, and
He think he
let
proving
me-
a
let me
point
do-
because he being
Let me
loud.
talk. No,
Nah,
everybody's
it
not
just
gonna
sound
go to
crazy
college,
as
so
hell.
y'all
Let me-
forget
let
about
me-
mouth.
let me-
The percentage of black people that go to college now, y'all gotta look at what's going
You
on
ain't
now.
a representation
But
of
look
the
at right now. Like, look at like everybody,
Stop.
our kids, these 13, 14s are dying.
Bruh, stop.
14 people, 14
Bruh,
kids died of
stop.
MPS.
Stop.
But you was part of that problem, though.
That is
You
not a
like to
reason.
say and talk about shit that you was a part of the problem of. That you a hypocrite.
Well, I got
Everything
shoot-
that
I
come
ain't
out
shoot
your
no
mouth
kid.
is a hypocrite.
I ain't shooting no kid.
Everything that come out
What
your mouth
that
when
have
you
to do
say
with
you are
anything, bro?
conservative. Do you know
So,
the
Travis,
beliefs
where?
of
Explain it to
conservative?
me.
They believe in
This
family
is-
values.
this is-
You have 5 broken homes, so you're not a
and,
conservative.
yeah, and all my kids are
Travis,
good. They not going to kill nobody.
It ain't got nothing to do
They
with
not shooting
killing.
nobody. They
It don't
ain't
have
doing none
nothing
of
to
that.
do with it. You
They
say
ain't selling no
you
drugs.
are
They're not doing that.
conservative views.
They're not
You
selling
going
no
off of your
drugs. They're not
beliefs.
shooting. They're not killing.
So I'm gonna
Because
just say
I'm
this.
there.
Believe
My
in
daddy wasn't there.
Travis.
I'm there. So they're
family
not doing that.
value. He has 5 different baby
I'm
mothers.
just say this.
No, I
That's not-
don't.
that's not
No,
a-
I don't have
it's not
5
a-
different baby mamas.
Well, it's no.
Right. Exactly.
No,
You
no,
know what I'm saying?
Because we
But
were
I'm there with my kids, though.
We're breaking it down
Yeah.
about his views of conservative.
But
He
I'm there with my
said
kids.
conservative.
He ain't,
He
my
don't
kids
like
ain't shooting kids.
abortions. He likes to mention about 14 kids getting killed, but he's not. He don't want to be part of the solution, but he says he's in those rooms advocating and talking on behalf of the residents of Milwaukee. He's always saying that
Jobs.
it's not about black and white.
What they at?
What this is not.
Go ahead,
What
Michelle.
it-
I'm just saying it's big. It
What
has
that?
to be more inclusive than just jobs.
Right.
There are all
I
kinds
agree.
of things that are going to make our community go and be healthy and be strong. And when we narrow it and we are so singular in our approach to how we look at this stuff, we leave a lot of folks on the sideline.
Right.
You
There's
know,
going to be someone left
but-
on the sidelines.
but
There's going to be
this
some
is-
casualties.
But this is my thing.
You are
And it-
Can't save everybody.
this
You the
is
casualty.
my thing, and this is where I have a
You the
problem,
casualty, boy.
quite frankly, with some brothers. Let me tell you what I mean.
God.
So we have people that say it's nothing wrong with no black folks being in Trump's cabinet. It's nothing wrong with no black people being on staff.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with no
Not a
black people
concern.
working in the White House. That's BS. Because when we don't value our presence in a room,
Right.
so now let me bring it to
We
something
okay with not
more,
wanna be in that room.
more simple
Shit.
that I talk about all the time on the radio, and bros get mad with me.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
NFL. The NFL.
Yeah, let's talk about
So, Colin Kaepernick takes a knee. Colin Kaepernick gets blackballed. Nobody does anything. Brothers say, we have found out that the NFL has been using an algorithm that if this black man and this white man have the same career-ending injury, the algorithm says that this black man's career trajectory and life value is little to nothing. So we either pay him nothing or a modest amount of money, but we set him up for the rest of his life. Black male head coaches. Brothers couldn't even get these interviews. So they had to create a rule to at least give them the appearance
That
of
they
a
being
cursory
interviewed.
interview
The Rooney
to be
Rule.
the
Yep.
Rooney Rule
Yep.
to be
Mhm.
interviewed for a coaching job.
Yep.
We can go Shador Sanders. We all sit back and watch how they have maligned this brother and conspired
Mhm.
to have him go 5th in the draft. And all we do is sit back and shake our head. And the one thing I have said to so many brothers, I even thought about Jay-Z when he came in, because you're going to be the white folks whisperer after Colin Kaepernick, and the league give you millions of dollars and say, go make it better.
do the entertainment.
Go make
Yep,
it better.
yep.
Not just entertainment. They gave them money to go out in the community and fund groups. Go make it better. Shut the Negroes up. Jay-Z, first organization he funds, gives money to, organization in Chicago, Illinois. White woman runs it. There's a picture of her in the Chicago paper, cutting the locks off the hair of black boys to make them look more presentable for employment, while the man writing the check got locks.
Despicable.
So I say to brothers all the time, bruh, when y'all take action against the NFL, because they ain't mistreating me, the black woman, they mistreating bruhs. Negroes ain't gonna turn that TV off. They not gonna miss a game. They gonna show up. And so this is my issue when I even listen to you, Travis. You got people who are consistently doing things to harm us, to harm you as a black man.
Mhm.
When you talk about dismantling our history, when you talk about dismantling our educational institutions, when you talk about dismantling public education, when you talk about dismantling healthcare, all of these different things that harm black people specifically, indirectly you as well. But we will stand up and defend this because I'm going to get some economic policy. You're going to defend it. That your 70-year-old grandmama got to go work in McDonald's just to make ends meet. And you got people splitting insulin in half because they couldn't afford the whole medication. I don't understand the mentality of people that will see themselves and see us getting messed over, but will not take a stand. What did Rick Ross say when he was riding around in Target? Now, all these black folks been boycotted. Rick Ross thinks somebody is a fool. First, you get your name from Freeway Rick Ross,
yeah.
the real Rick that was in prison. You lie about being a correctional officer, trying to get street cred, and then you know everybody boycotting Target, but who riding around? Oh, but you was at the Trump thing too,
Right.
helping
I
support
bet you
that.
he was at that.
So I'm looking at brothers, and I had these moments with black men when I'm like, y'all, when the hell do y'all stand up for y'all? Because you'll come for me, you'll come for somebody else. But when do you as brothers decide we are important?
When we start killing each other.
Valuable.
Stop it.
When we start killing each other.
Like
No.
When we start killing each other.
No.
We start killing each other.
See what you did?
Stop
You was
it,
willing
bro.
to go attack another brother, then attack the white man that got his damn foot on your neck.
That's
In
the house
every
nigga
arena.
mentality.
And ain't no such thing
We
as
killing
black
each other,
crime.
man.
That's crap.
In every
What you
arena.
mean?
That's why you need to stop saying
What
stuff
you
like that,
mean?
because when you
How's
say
that?
because when you say
48
things
people got
because-
shot in Chicago.
brother,
All of them was
brother,
black and
when you
7
say
died.
things like that,
Contributes to
And
you
7
allow-
died.
You allow
What
the white
contributes
supremacist
to
come in and
That's-
have their own
What
narrative.
contribute?
When
We
you
go
say
back.
things like that,
We go
that's
back
crap.
to everything we've been saying.
Economics.
How nah, it ain't no damn
Yes, it
economics.
is.
It ain't just economics.
You can't even tell me what
House
that is.
nigga ain't no
What you mean?
We lost low liquor stores, grocery stores.
Yeah.
Okay.
We lost
Yeah.
all black-owned business in the city of Milwaukee.
Oh.
Not only the city of Milwaukee, Atlanta losing black businesses, Chicago losing black businesses. Like our economic and our value within our black community is under attack.
How
And
do
it's
you
really
create
under
the
attack from
conditions?
us.
You know what?
We killing each other. Like
Okay.
that don't like that's what
And your
bothers
message
me.
is doing
What
just
you
as
say
much
with
as
the
that
history,
stuff that you
there is
follow.
no history not here. We aborting each other
Oh,
and we
God.
killing each other in the street.
Really?
Black
That's
men
the
are
biggest-
the
that's the-
dangerous species.
That's the biggest thing.
We are a
That's
dangerous
our,
species.
That's our enemy.
wonder
is
why.
Right,
abortion.
that is
And
the
you wonder
dangerous
why.
species.
Boy, stop.
That's how you
Well,
get rid of us.
We
You
would
know
like
what?
Abortion and we killing each
Let
other.
this man take his commercial,
Go ahead.
man.
we would like to thank everybody
Jesus.
this evening for tuning in. As I told you at the beginning, we're gonna start someplace and we're gonna definitely end somewhere else. This brother is I'm praying.
Don't
for you
listen
every
to
day.
that ignition.
Please,
Man,
please don't.
stop it.
I would
Y'all
I would love
It's
to
time to wake up.
Nah, you sleep.
No, you sleep
We
like a mug.
waking up.
You sleep like a mug.
We
You
can't
gonna be
do
the
the
first
same
one they
thing
throw on
over
that
and over
train.
again.
I would like to
Wake
thank
up.
do the hanging. He
Go
gonna be the first one they put on the
Gotta
train.
wake up,
I
man.
would
Gotta
like
wake
to
up.
thank-
Always the house Negro that thinking he better off than everybody, but when it's time for
Gotta
the,
wake
the
up.
masses,
I would like to thank Michelle Bride for giving us her time. She's a busy woman, but she carved out some time for us this evening. Michelle, oh my God, I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you, my sister. We love each other.
Oh Jesus! And I want to thank you, Stacey, for coming.
that's
You
what
just- We're gonna do this part 2 next week because we're gonna definitely attack this, but we're gonna do part 2. Oh yeah, we're gonna do part 2 next week.
Part 2.
But yeah, part 2. I don't know, Michelle, if you
I'm gonna break. So I'm gonna have to break some reinforcement. You coming next week?
Who you gonna bring?
Don't even worry
Who
about
you
it.
bringing?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm oh God. Right. Tim Scott, you bringing him?
No,
You bring on Timmy?
I know
Nah.
you're going Scott Walker. He said
Nah.
Scott Walker.
Right.
Our buddies
I'm about to
and
bring some
everything.
reinforcements.
So we gonna cut.
I don't know. I
but-
might bring the doctor. I'm gonna call him up and see what the doctor. I can't think of his name. Alabu. What I can't
You
think
don't know
of
what
his
he's talking about.
name. Don't worry about it.
We're
We'll figure out. We're gonna figure out something.
He's a pure clown. But we just thank y'all for coming and tuning in. Please tune in again next week. We're gonna battle this again. And again,
Got
we
to.
just thank you. Good night.
Thank y'all. Good night.
Thank you for having me.